going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web here on a Victory Monday. You gotta love that after the Bucs take care of business over the Washington Commanders 37-20. So how do we start off this show? As you know them, you love them, you gotta have them, because it wasn't all good news today here when it comes to Bucs Nation. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter, giving you something to think about as we talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight and that big-time win. We get your thoughts and questions because we may have not been able to talk to all you webheads out there and all you Bucs fans. But it is Victory Monday. It is nice. Give me your thoughts on that victory. I get it. It's only one win. As there's a lot of people saying, reminding everybody that it's only one win. It's only one game in the books. But we celebrate here on the Sports Web. We do. We talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When they lose, we talk about how they lost. When they win, we talk about how they win. You got to say Baker Mayfield yesterday, 24 for 30. 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. Impressive performance by Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah.
But again, it wasn't all good news today. Of course, the Bucs injury front, they lose Bryce Hall for the year. According to Todd Bowles, it's going to be, let me see here. It looks like it's a leg fracture at this point for Hall. And he was put on an air cast, so you knew it was bad when you had to bring out the cart. You're not sure about Josh Hayes yet. You're not sure about Zion McCollum. You're not sure if they're going to be cleared with concussion protocol. But that was not the worst news of the day. No, it was not. Antoine Winfield Jr. is suffering from a sprained ankle, according to Jordan Schultz. In fact, this is what he had to say. It's going to be a couple weeks. And then this from Rick Stroud. Bucs are cautiously optimistic that Antoine Winfield Jr. will miss only 2 weeks with an ankle injury, but it could be a 3 to 4 week injury. So it kind of changes some things, doesn't it? Because, yes, you do beat Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, but you lose 3 of your cornerbacks. And now you're kind of wondering what the Bucs should do. So that's the question for the night. Of course, we always say here on this show that you have an opinion. You have a right to say what you want to say when it comes to Tampa Bay Buccaneer football. What should the Bucs do? Do they go with their options within? Or would you like to see them go out of the organization? Possibly a Patrick Peterson, possibly Xavier Howard. Somebody along those lines. Open phone lines tonight. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Injuries are part of the game. This is what Todd Bowles had to say today. Bryce Hall is definitely out. We'll see about Josh Hayes. We'll see about Zion McCollum. Obviously, Antoine Winfield Jr. within a boot, which, by the way, this was reported last night after the show, after the postgame show from Joe Bucs fan. Hat tip to them because they had this story before anybody else. And again, Greg Allman reported that Hall dislocated his right ankle, fractured his fibula. There was no positive update. I haven't heard all that, but Hall possibly coming back in the season. From what I know, it's probably season ending for Hall. So that's disappointing for the young man because he played well and he had an opportunity, of course, to come into that situation where you're missing corners. And let's face it, that's one of the most important positions in the National Football League, is it not, ladies and gentlemen? You have to have your back end, especially with it being a passing league. Also, today, with that being said, Bull said, let's see, I've been in different positions where there have been hurt before. We have guys that got to step up. A couple years ago in 2021, our concerns were down. Our corners were down. Our concerns are down. Our corners were down. And we had D. Delaney and Pierre Desir, and a lot of guys step up in that situation. You make this team for a reason. Guys got to play. We have to see something in them for them to make this team, and they got to go out there and play. He also says, we'll see how these guys do. Eventually, we'll work something out. If we need to get somebody, we'll get someone. We'll get somebody. Jamel Dean, Tyreek Funderburk, who hasn't played, is trying to get back into shape because he missed preseason. That most likely is who you're going to go to. You're most likely going to elevate a Keenan Isaac, and you could go out of the organization. So what should this Bucs team do? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. He also confirmed today, I'm pretty sure about Kalijah Cansey, that it is the same calf that he hurt last year. So that's not necessarily good news because if you remember, Cansey was out for 3 to 4 games. Without further ado, we'll get out to the comments in a moment, but let me go ahead and get my co-host on. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Harry Creek, welcome to Victory Monday, but kind of the air taken out of the balloon here with all the injuries the Bucs have suffered, especially the big one here with Antoine Winfield Jr.
How bad is the injury? And by the way, good evening.
Good evening to you, buddy. I tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines here. As I'm not mad, by the way. I look like a Revenge of the Killer Tomato with my red face being out there in the sun. Thanks a lot to What the Buck on the tailgate, being out there for a couple hours, talking to Bucs fans. That was definitely fun. The phone lines are open. I tell you right now, I want to go out to whomever this is. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek.
Hey, what's up, Peter? This Coda from Tampa.
What's going on, buddy? Well, what do you think about the Bucs win, and what do you think about this Bucs injury situation? The big news of the day: Antoine Winfield Jr. out for at least 2 weeks, could be more.
Yeah, that one hurt. But I told you about this offensive coordinator and how everybody was going crazy about Canales. I said, I told you this man gonna be better than Canales because he know how to use player personnel.
Well, you're definitely preaching to the choir, my friend, because listen, I love Dave Canales as a person. I thought he did some good things last year, but I thought the transition period was too long. And I think Liam Combs coming in here, this offense was going to take off with all the weapons, with the plethora of wide receivers, with the offensive line being improved and that running back room being improved. But really, that cherry on top of that cake has to be Cohen as an offensive coordinator. There's not going to be a transition period. I feel like everybody on this team is going to know, and it's why my colleague here said the Bucs would hit a 5-1 start running. He may have been wrong about the Commanders there. They may lose to the Lions with all the injury situations, but you feel good about this offense. They were very explosive yesterday with scoring 37 points.
Right, man. Do you see the eye candy, how he just used the motions, man? Just like that touchdown to the rookie, man.
Yep.
He sent them in motion and ran an over route, man. It's beautiful, man. But the injuries on especially on the back end, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna hurt us real bad against Detroit.
What do you think they should do? Should they go outside of the organization? You go with the end options here in this organization, or do you go outside of the organization? What would you do?
That's the big question. You got to see if somebody out there in shape, playing shape. You know what I mean? You don't want to just get nobody off the couch that ain't ready. You know what I mean? And don't know the system, the scheme.
True.
It's hard, man. I don't know what the practice squad looking like. Maybe they could call somebody up.
Well, you're going to go with Itzian there. It seems like Christian Itzian is going to be your safety.
Yeah, but
Sunday.
More of a nickel. He more of a nickel like safety, like man. He can't play outside.
Yeah, we'll see, but it's definitely going to be tough. I want to go out to you, Harry, with all these injuries, especially the Antoine Winfield Jr. injury. Your thoughts here on not only that Bucs win, but the injury situation. Welcome to the Evolution.
It's going to be next man. It's just going to be next man up mentality, Pete. I mean, what else are you going to do, man? Every team's going to suffer injuries. Now, they did get quite a few of them, especially in the secondary. Antoine Winfield's big injury for this team.
Yeah, that will hurt. Ooh, that will hurt.
It's definitely going to hurt a little bit, but as long as that front four can get pressure, the secondary can look a lot better.
All right, talk about that big win versus the Commanders here, Corey, and we'll let you go. We'll use that second call if you want to, but go ahead and talk about it a little bit.
Oh man, I'm just ecstatic about this offense and the defense. We only gave up 14 points. We gave up one garbage time touchdown. So
Correct.
I mean, the defense looking like that, and this offense, man. Oh man, I mean, I don't care what nobody said. That's an NFL team. We just did that too. So you can say it was Washington or whatever. It's an NFL team. So.
Washington's a decent team. You know, they played decent. It was a rookie quarterback. I was glad to see that Tampa figured out, you know, their problems with facing rookie quarterbacks, especially that were mobile. I mean, let's just not let it down. I think this kid ran for over 100 yards on the ground, didn't he, Pete?
He ran
80 something.
Yeah, 80 something yards. Didn't run for 100.
That's still a lot of yards. Now, let me
Agreed.
tell you something.
Agreed.
For first NFL game, we know exactly what kind of quarterback he's going to be. He's going to be a very mobile quarterback who can throw the ball. He didn't look good from the pocket at all. I did get a chance to watch this. Tampa's got a lot of things on defense to tighten up.
Hey,
Trust me when I tell you they
this ain't
do.
college, man. I hope he make it through the season.
They didn't have.
And
Tampa
the final
just did.
tally for Daniels was 16 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Right.
And you're exactly right. But I will say this, guys. They were impressive with the young guys stepping up there with being without Cansey there. Kalijah Cansey, of course, you know, a big time building block there. Logan Hall. Yeah.
The point I was trying to make is they had someone spying on him. He still ran for almost 100 yards. And at some points, there were even 2 people spying on him. If you had any kind of a quarterback back there with any kind of accuracy, let me get my point out before you say anything. He said it could have made some problems. The linebacker play was a little bit less than adequate for what I liked on the taste test and watching. They will clean it up. They're going to Detroit. And trust me, Detroit's not all that in a bag of chips. Even with a banged up defense, that's one of the picks I wanted to go ahead and get out because right now the Buccaneers are 7.5-point underdogs traveling to Detroit. So they're getting no respect, which is all well and fine. The LA Rams, they're not a powerhouse team. They should have won that game yesterday. Tampa's coming in banged up. I understand Kalijah Cansey's a big downer here, but let me be right up front with you. Detroit, this coming week, that offensive line is not playing well. They look like they look like they were Swiss cheese on that line. I'm not kidding you. The Bucs will get pressure on that front line, but that linebacker play's got to get better.
Definitely has to get better, and I think that was probably one of the most disappointing aspects yesterday. Savasier Dennis, though, had a sack, but there were a lot of broken tackles there. Linebacking core has to get better, and you're exactly right. You can't lose containment, especially on a mobile quarterback. But overall, I thought the defense
right.
You know,
y'all saying the spy, but he's faster than the spy, and then you're taking somebody out of coverage.
Yeah.
Well, there was a couple of times there was 2 spies on him. They were actually trailing him.
So that's 2
where the linebacker and the safety lost containment because they were following the quarterback and there were receivers downfield. I could show you a half a dozen plays as he's running to his left, and all of a sudden there's a wide receiver who's not 20 yards around him.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels' eyes were down with the ball in hand.
Yeah.
That's where I got to say.
Taking the defender out of coverage.
Right. He's just a rookie. He's going to get better. The defense for Tampa, not bad for game 1. They did what they were supposed to do, and the prediction's probably going to come right. And I don't see anything different. I think Tampa might win this week as well.
Wow.
Let me ask this, and then I'm going, man. How many wins y'all think we got this year? I think about 12, man.
I've said 11. I said 11-6 from yesterday. I think it's going to be 11-6. I think Baker Mayfield's going to be the MVP of this team, and I love what Graham Barton showed. Even though Pro Football Focus wasn't a big fan of his work, you could see the offensive line and their improvement. You could see the athleticism, especially when they're trying to call a penalty on him. He's behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
He's not so. The athleticism is there. The point of attack, the physicality is all there with this line. It's definitely improved. And then once again, one of the big things, Harry, and I know you love this, you rush for over 100 yards versus a defense, which, look, they had Jonathan.
They got a good front 7.
Yeah, Deron Payne.
Their linebackers stink in Washington, but that front 4 is one of the better front 4s in football.
Yeah, they got it.
Yeah. Again, I've never talked to you before, but I'm a very black and white guy. Washington's D is really good on their front 4. Their linebacker core is mediocre at best. Seriously, and I mean mediocre. I mean mediocre.
Bobby Wagner. Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby Wagner's seen his best days, but still leading tackler last year in the NFL.
Yep.
Corey, appreciate the call. Use the
Yes,
second
sir.
call.
Great call, man. Thanks for shouting out.
Happy Victory Monday. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. As always, let me go out to Instagram here. Thanks a lot for tuning in there, Q.
The IG.
And, yes, the IG and Petite Goddess. I call her my football goddess. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Right there. Miss Lisi, shouting you out because you're texting me, and right now I'm looking at you. Tuning in
me?
Evolution, not you. I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at her. She's not on the screen, but she's tuning in. I can see her. All right. What else? Again, Antoine Winfield Jr., you're being hurt. That's a big-time injury. Now you're down to your cornerback here. Funderburk, you're not sure about him. Undrafted guy. Zion McCollum may not be cleared for concussion protocol. You lose Bryce Hall. You're not sure about Hayes. So if you're the Bucs, do you go with your options in-house, which is what I was trying to say before, or
they're always going to shop outside. When you suffer that many injuries, Pete, they're going to shop outside. But these aren't going to be starters. They lose one or two more players, then people that were bagging groceries at Publix is going to be your starting corner the following week. Yes. I don't see that happening. You still have players in the practice squad, and you're still pretty deep on the bench. So, no, I mean, are they going to go out and go get some help? The answer is absolutely yes. But they're not going to be starting this week in the National Football League.
I just wonder, what they're going to do if Xavier Howard is going to get a call. JCA,
Joshua Cole-Allen, he'd look in the uniform.
No.
He's a little bit thick in the gut to go play corner.
No.
And a little short. You know what? He don't run very well. I've seen that story.
You're such an idiot. J.C. Allen suggested Patrick Peterson. Would that be a guy you think the Bucs may be interested in? I know
Why
that
not?
he's the same Peterson.
Why not?
He knows Todd Bowles' defense.
Listen, the answer is yes. If you can go out and get Patrick Peterson, go kick the tires. I'll tell you what, just his leadership in a locker room could probably be a blessing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't agree with JCA very often, okay? But on that one, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, there you go. The hell is frozen over at this point. I think you agree with JC a little bit more than you're saying at this point.
I can't. Trust me, man. I can't agree with JCA. That's that little thing that him and I have. That's that love thing. You know what I'm saying?
And somebody asked me, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this Victory Monday. That's what we're talking about. All right, let's go out to Roger Shue. We'll acknowledge him.
Acknowledge me.
As he's first, let's go out to Raina here. You know we love Harry the Greek, but thank God he was wrong about the game yesterday.
Yeah, thank God.
And then thank God. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Go Bucs.
Hey, I just said this team was going to start 5-1. Hey. Could we go 6-0?
Yeah, why not? But it's going to be tough because, again, you're without the best safety in the league in Winfield Jr. That's going to be tough. Yep. And then on top of it, so your pass rush has to step up. And we know that if you give Jared Goff the time, he's going to definitely pick you apart. You look at what Jameson Williams did in his debut versus the Giants. That's kind of concerning. Good evening, Peter, says Tim. Thanks a lot for tuning in. As always, Roger Shue. Bret Hart is on Raw right now. That's the wrestling talk. I know that would get you.
Blah, blah, blah.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you.
It's exciting.
Let's go out to Megan here. Whoop, whoop. Victory Monday. Let's go out to Christopher O'Reilly. This one cost us 3 DBs. Winfield in a boot. Sounds like an ankle sprain. Yeah, again, going back to the tweet that was put out there by Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times, the Bucs hope for 2 weeks, but this could be a 3 to 4 week injury. And of course, you don't want it to be a lingering thing, and especially with a safety that makes all the plays, that did what he did last year, the kind of year that he had. You could put him in that conversation of being defensive player of the year, the turnovers, the plays. So you need him healthy, and it's important for him to have that ankle, especially with, the kind of plays that he makes on the football field. No word yet on the severity of Jordan Love's injury. His leg will be assessed upon return to the United States. My sources tell me he went to a Brazilian hospital for a possible high ankle sprain, and doctors attempted to give him a BB.
This guy sucks.
I think that was a joke there from not a Packer fan there. Sod and sprinkles. From my bet, $5. Appreciate you right there.
Yeah.
YouTube super chats are open, so give to it. And of course, Facebook stars are open. Roger Shu says, hi, Greek.
What's
Let's
up?
go on to JS Torres. What's the link to add? I don't know.
There's no link, JS.
There is no link. Be back in a few.
But you can call in if you want. All you got to do is just hit them digits at 727-255-0391. So if you got a question or a comment, call in.
That's right. Right-brained. Yeah. Okay. Let's go out to John there. Defense is going to get their first turnover this week against Detroit. 12-5 this season. John, again, Detroit O-line is weak. Our offense needs to get in stride with the running game. Agree with that?
Read that. Detroit's O-line is weak. I agree. And our offense needs to get in stride with the running game. I thought the running game looked just fine yesterday.
Yeah, I thought the running game was good too.
I'm not really. I don't know if he's talking about Detroit's running game because of the O-line, or is he referencing Tampa's running game?
I thought he was referencing Detroit. I didn't think it was Tampa. I mean,
Okay.
I get Rashard White didn't have a great day on the ground, if you will. By the way, Bucky Irving, 9 carries for 62 yards. Pretty good debut by him. Lucas says the best thing about the Lions is that they have a bad secondary, which
That's not true.
Carlton, well, they got beat up last night by Cooper Kupp.
That secondary is going to get a lot better coming and keep coming because they went out and drafted a whole bunch of players. They really fixed that secondary. The problem with Detroit is their front seven is they're not getting the pressure and they're losing containment is exactly what happens. If you watch that game last year versus Tampa Bay, Tampa should have beat this team. And when I watched against the Rams, secondary played as long and as good as they could because they weren't getting the pressure up into Matthew Stafford's face consistently. This is why the secondary didn't look so good. You get Hutchinson on one side, and you get the freaky white kid with the long what's his name with the white hair with the long hair? What's his name?
The only guy I know is Hutchinson at this.
No,
point.
there's Hutchinson and my brain's got a little bit of freezer, but I'll tell you what, they can get a really good pass rush. The secondary will look a lot better. Tampa's pass rush is definitely a lot better.
Yes, and JTS showed up yesterday. First sack for the Bucs season. I mean, how surprised were you by that? Because we've kind of talked about ad nauseum on this show how big of a deal it is, how big of a year it is for JTS to be productive. And you saw some of that yesterday. You saw some of that finish.
Yeah, I actually fell off the chair watching this play. I'm like, where did this come from? Where's this play been?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, serious JTS. I mean, the man was been on a milk carton. He came out. You give me 2 weeks like that, JTS, and I myself are going to give you a public apology for saying that you are a wasted draft pick.
Well, there you go. That's good. Harry the Greek right there, publicly apologizing to JTS, but maybe you should continue.
I got to have one more week.
One more week.
One more week. I'm going to say that man's back.
That man's back. That's it. Okay. All right. I'm just sharing right now. So just doing some things here.
Share away.
Yes, I'm sharing away. Let me see if I can get some of this stuff done here really quick. I can't, so I'm not going to distract you guys with all that nonsense. I'm just trying to do the best I can.
I see Roger Schutz shipped over $5. You know,
he did. Yes, he lost the bet because he thought.
Did you forget the 0 at the other end of the 5?
I should have did that, but he didn't want to.
Hold on, not you. I'm talking about Roger. What's this $5 stuff? You can't even get a McDonald's cheeseburger and a soda with $5.
That's not true.
On, Roger.
That is definitely not true.
You go out with the Greek, you can't get a $5 cheeseburger. Come on, Roger. I mean, how are we supposed to eat over here?
That is not true. You can act. That is erroneous information.
And this is the man that thinks Little Caesars is great pizza or Hungry
Okay,
Howie's.
listen. Okay, enough of you saying that about the pizza.
When's your birthday, Pete?
October 3rd. And
that's what I thought. It's 10-3.
That's right. 10-3. It shares the same as your favorite coach, Bruce Arians, right there, BA.
Oh, yeah. Yep, it sure does. But you know who else's birthday's in the 10th month?
Who's that?
Someone very special to me.
Who's that?
Hey, it's Nick the Greek, my son.
Whoa, Nick! What's going on? The Greek right there. All right, let's go out to the phone lines here. Let's go ahead and acknowledge this guy.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to Roger Shu on a victory Monday for not only the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but of course the Chicago Bears. So go ahead, give me your thoughts, because I know you're not going to talk about the Bucs. You're going to talk about the Bears. So go ahead. Welcome.
Well, I was going to talk about the Bucs.
Well, talk about the Bucs. Tell me. Wait a minute. Tell me
horrible
right
news
now.
for Chicago.
Well, tell me right now. Tell me right now how great Baker is and how Trask should be the starter for this team. Tell me that again. Please tell me.
I went to week 5 when he's hurt.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know, that,
Oh my God.
the reason why you got your wide receiver hurt is because you threw that karma on us with that Baker Mayfield nonsense right there. And
He's not
hopefully
hurt that bad.
now
It's
the
a
quarterback
sprain.
is not hurt.
No, I'm talking about
Yes, Dunzier.
Roma Dunze.
On Dunze, yes.
He's got a mild sprain. They're going to be very careful with him.
He's week to week.
Well, we all week to week. We're all month to month, second to second, or whatever
At my
else.
age, I'm day to day.
Day to day, baby. Day to
Day
day.
to day, baby. Day to day. Bring it home.
Right.
Hey,
All right,
hey,
yes.
hold on, man. What's this crap you're sending in $5? Where the hell am I supposed to get on $5 there, Roger?
I told you can get. You can
Roger.
definitely
Every time
listen.
I've super chatted in the past to you, Peter never gives you the money anyway.
Oh, I know. But that's okay. We
check-
gotta feed
mail.
Pete.
The check is in the mail. And by the way, and whoever's calling call back, we'll put you on hold in just a moment. But you can get a $5 meal. It's like $5.35 at McDonald's. It includes a cheeseburger, fries, chicken nuggets, 4 chicken nuggets, and a soft drink. I'm not kidding. It does.
Hold on. But that's just. Do I get the nuggets or are you getting the fries? Because I gotta have something here.
Okay, you can take the fries and I'll take the nuggets because I'm gonna. You know what?
Sounds
No.
good.
You know what? You take the nuggets.
And if Nick is
too
with
much
me,
fries.
so what's he gonna get? The soda?
Yeah, I guess we'll figure that out.
You see now, Roger, you did really well, man. You fed 3 people on $5.
Hey, in Biden's economy, you gotta work.
Oh, don't start. Don't do that. Do not do that. No political talk on this show. Stop it. Stop it. Everything is good. Everything is rainbows and unicorns. We're not struggling with rent.
I think that was Baker's best game as a Buck.
Well, besides,
He looked really good, man. My God, he looked really good.
He did.
There were a couple plays that I was going, oh man, get down.
Yeah.
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 Yep. All right. So what else, Roger? What about Caleb Williams? What did you think of his start?
It's his first game.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't light the world on fire, but he didn't turn over the ball. He didn't, it's a work in progress.
It definitely is a work in progress. Your defense and special teams picked you up.
I'll take care of that. Special teams, one of the best in the business, and coming out of Chicago. That defense is absolutely for real. Caleb Williams
Absolutely.
had, I don't know,
Hi, Roger.
one.
Hold on, caller. We got
three
Roger Shoe on the line. Stand by. We'll come right back to you in a moment. All right.
That offense with Caleb Williams probably had 1, 2, 3 really good plays after that. I mean, he looked like a deer in the headlights. Just call it what it is. I'll tell you what, he's the first quarterback, I think, since 2000 that was drafted #1 overall that actually got the W. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's going to get better.
I'm going to definitely read some of these comments because somebody just they should earn a super chat with this. Hungry Howie's is good. Mike, you are absolutely correct.
Mike, I had mad respect for Mike Stover. Oh my God, Hungry Howie's is good.
This is what you get for.
You get butter crust too.
Yeah, butter cheese crust, bacon and pepperoni. This is what you get for that nonsense right there.
Greek will agree with me. Hungry Howie's is crap in a box.
Okay, whatever, man. Whatever.
You're talking to pizza connoisseurs here.
Howie's. If we get him as a sponsor, you guys will be saying that. Roger.
Buddy, we've been talking about Hungry Howie. You know what? If Hungry Howie sponsors us, I'll eat Hungry Howie's every night. Okay, and I will wear a Hungry Howie's T-shirt. I will wear the bandana. I will put Hungry Howie stickers on my car.
All right, sounds good.
That's a challenge for you.
Okay, let me see if I can get him closed up there. All right, what else, Roger?
That's it, man. Just a great show like always.
Thank you.
I'll be tuning in.
All right, appreciate you. Let's go back out to the phone line.
Hey, Roger, can you please get me a burger with the same deal that he's got?
Right, he gave me $5. We should have bet more, but he didn't want to bet more. You know why? Because he knew he was wrong, and he admitted to that. He's a stand-up guy. Thank you for calling Roger Shoe right there. Stand by here. Hold on a sec. We'll come out to you in a moment. Let me go back out to this caller here. Stand by. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
This is Trevor from Georgia.
What's going on, Trevor, on a Victory Monday? Yes.
What's up, Trevor?
Pretty good. How's it going?
It's going good, man.
Really good.
Besides the win versus Washington, I didn't want to wake up today and lose the best safety in the league in Antoine Winfield Jr. for the next couple of weeks. But at least I could say this, being the eternal optimist here at Tampa Bay Sports, at least, thank God, it's not for the whole year there. By the way, it happened like at the end of the game, like the second to last play of the game, I believe on the onside kick. I don't know why he was in there on that. I have no idea why he was in there, but
Somebody needs to be fired.
well, not ready to fire anybody
Bye,
again.
Bulls.
Oh, please stop it now. Fourth
I'm gonna
consecutive.
jump on that bandwagon right now. Let's start. Hey, man, that it's good to start the. Listen, everybody that knows the Greek knows that he's the captain and the head of the shit stirring pot. Trust me.
You are that, my friend. You are definitely that, and it's always good to have you here on a Monday night, Wednesday night, and hopefully before and after Bucks games, and of course for the show, the over/under. We got to bring that back. Got to get some picks here. I want to know how you did good this week. But let's go out to Trevor here. Trevor, give me your thoughts on this Bucks big victory over the Commanders, 37-20.
Well, it's been awesome for me. First, I want to shout out to the young bloods out there, the rookies. I think they did a great job. You can tell that Jason White did a great job with the draft because we had a lot of young guys out there make an impact immediately, and you can tell yesterday. And I just want to address some of the guys that were complaining about how Jaden Daniels was able to run. But the thing is this, I'm not upset with the defense about that. He's a dynamic runner. And when you have a dynamic runner, they're going to make plays. Like, he wasn't a second overall pick for no reason.
Right.
So I think given, the situation, I think he did a pretty good job with that. Baker was baking. He was out there having, to me, this is the second best game he's had in a Bucs uniform.
Agree.
Me, I think that game last year in Green Bay was his best game.
Yes, perfect rating on the road. First time that's happened in a long time there at Lambeau Field, and then on top of it, in a must-win game, which solidifies Todd Bowles' job, and at that point puts the Bucs at 7-7. That was huge.
Yeah, and then the icing on cake for me was I'm in a fantasy league, and when we had the draft, I drafted Mike Evans first as my first receiver. My number 2 receiver is Chris Godwin.
Smart guy.
Because a lot of these guys around here in Georgia, for some reason, they don't think Chris Godwin, Mike Evans is really good. I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't want him. I'll take him. I was like, because if Mike Evans is not lighting it up, then usually Chris Godwin is, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And so they gave me 3 touchdowns together yesterday. So
Chris Godwin's the best slot receiver in football right now, and where this new OC has Chris Godwin playing, he's got him playing in that natural position, sitting right up in the middle, usually taking on the third DB for the opposing defense. Buddy, I like chances all the time. Unless he gets safety help, Godwin is going to feed like this every day. They should give him the TV commercial with the chunky soup.
Yeah, wow. I agree.
He's going to eat. I'm telling you. You leave him alone on a third DB with no safety help because you've got Mike Evans on the other side. Oh boy, hold on. That's all I'm going to tell you. Hold on. And you and I talked about this in nauseum, Pete, about what this offense is going to do and how special it's going to be because of the running game is going to open up that passing game. Hence the reason for that second best game for Mr. Baker Mayfield. It's great, really good call, man. Thanks.
And hold on, Trevor. I want to correct myself here. This is what Todd Bowles had to say about the Winfield Jr. injury. He got hurt on one of the last 2 plays of the game of regulation. He was on the onside kick team. He didn't go out there for the onside kick team. He's pretty sore, so he wasn't out there, but he got you. That's a weird comment. I guess I don't understand that necessarily, but you got hurt on the second to last play of the game there. It's disappointing because you already have these injuries to your back end. But Trevor, thanks a lot for the call. Anything else here on the evolution?
Yeah, I'll say this, and then I'll go ahead and let you guys go.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention the run game looked much improved yesterday. If we're able to run the ball like we did yesterday, most of the year, we're gonna be pretty damn good. And just one more thing, going into next week, with all those injuries on defense, realistically, we're gonna have to just rely more on offense next week because we're going against a great team that scores a lot of points. So hopefully we can get some turnovers, and we can score with Detroit. That, to me, that's the key to victory next week.
It's definitely the key to victory, and you're going to have to ask for that from that pass rush. And we saw last year in the divisional playoff game, when you get pressure on Jared Goff, you can force him into some things that he doesn't necessarily want to do. We saw the pressure there from Kalijah Cansey. So hopefully Cansey will play in this game. Trevor, thanks a lot for the call, man. Appreciate you as always. All right. Use that second call if you want to. Okay.
All right. Good evening. Good evening, fellas.
All right. Happy
Hey, man, take care.
There. Absolutely.
I don't know if that was live or Memorex, because that's exactly what we were talking about with
Yeah.
that running game, you and I, brother. You remember that commercial? You're too young for that.
I do. No, I
Was
definitely.
that live or was that Memorex?
Exactly. Let's go out to the hill mark here. Mr. Frankie from Wisconsin. Welcome to the Evolution here. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, after a victory Monday. Bucks win over the Commanders 37-20. Your thoughts?
My thoughts. Well, I saw this coming. Like I thought victory for Washington. I thought it was victory.
Okay.
But first off, let me just say thank you for letting me be a guest or caller on the show.
You're welcome.
Always,
you are
man.
Awesome as always.
Yes, he definitely is when he's here. When he's
Frankie,
handicapper extraordinaire. We always love having Frankie on here from Wisconsin. He's from Wisconsin, guys, and he's a Bucks fan. We got people calling from North Carolina that are Bucks fans. We got people calling from California that are Bucks fans. We got people calling from Costa Rica that are Bucks fans. So it's out there. Bucks Nation is alive and well here on the Sports Web.
And I cannot stand that team that is here where the people put the cheese on their heads. I don't understand why they do that. I mean, if you want to have mold on your head, go right ahead.
Green Bay sucks. But you feel bad for them because you lose a young player like Jordan Love.
Can I just say this? Literally,
don't give a shit.
I'm gonna make this point right here. I am surrounded by Packer fans,
right?
And they laughed when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and I literally said, that's going to be the death of you, right? And now that Jordan Love got hurt, I said, y'all deserve this. You know that, right?
It's called karma.
Y'all deserve this.
Well, listen.
Nope, not yet.
Roger Shue said it. He said Baker Mayfield's going to get hurt here in week 5 or week 6. So now it's going to come back on him. So anytime.
Hey! Don't
I'm just
put
saying,
that shit out there, Pete.
Roger put the stuff out there. He put.
Roger didn't know what he was saying. Too many drinks. Okay, too many drinks. Roger, shut up.
How did the Bears quarterback look on Sunday? How did he look?
Let me go.
He looked like a rookie with a deer caught in the headlights, but he showed about 3 decent plays. He learned really quick. Hold on, man. He learned really quick that he can't outrun typical NFL defenses. I was laughing on a couple of plays, but what was really glaring? And man, dude, I am not a guy that gives excuses. I am a prognosticator. I don't care if it's my hometown team, if it's Tampa Bay. I don't care if it's the 49ers. I'm going to tell you the way it is. But you could not get any worse play than from what he had from his center yesterday. 3 batted balls. 3 batted balls. He looked worse than Donovan Smith, except at the center. He looked like a human turnstile. That defense was just, it was that bad, Pete. It was that bad.
I was watching that game. Now that you said something, I was watching that game because my best friend's a Bear fan. And it was I want to say it was the first or second quarter, and there was a loss of 19.
Yeah.
And I was like, the minute the ball was snapped, their defensive lineman was in the backfield. I was like,
right up the middle, Pete.
What's going on with your offensive line, dude?
Hold on. Play after play after play after play. And I'm like,
maybe bad for Caleb.
Maybe you want to take a running back or tight end to come across the middle and put a chip on them. I was like, oh boy. They won't be making that mistake again. But my bigger problem was, why were the Bears trying to push the ball downfield as much as they were? You got a brand new quarterback. I understand how you have all these new toys. Let me repeat it. You have a brand new rookie quarterback, and you're trying to push the ball downfield, overthrowing receivers. But I'll tell you what, that one throw that he made rolling to his right. Ooh, that's all I'm going to tell you. Oh, That's just a glimpse of what you get to see up there.
Well, we
It was
saw
exciting.
big time catch by DJ Moore there with the grab, and you're exactly right. You saw that one of the good throws there. You know, who do you think looked better in your opinion? Was it Caleb Williams or was it Jaden Daniels?
That's not a real fair question. Two totally different game plans. I mean, Jaden Daniels is a runner.
Okay.
You know, you could say that the Justin Field lovers are out there yesterday too. By the way, the Greek was right in that game. Atlanta stinks. Told you, Kirk Cousins.
Atlanta
140.
absolutely stinks. Which, by the way, PSA out there, all the national media getting on their soapboxes saying that the Atlanta Falcons are going to win the NFC South. The media out there once again disrespecting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Keep it up.
Look, they're not done, okay? But
Right.
they're with all that talent on that team. But to answer your question, I think Jaden Daniels looked better yesterday. I think Caleb looked better, although it was 50% throwing, a lot better than what Jaden Daniels looked like that way. It's a very unfair question. I think Tampa's offensive line paid head over heels much better than Chicago Bears' offensive line. I think you're going to see a different game next week in Houston.
You said the Bucks. Commander offensive line, you mean?
No, I'm talking about the Bears' offensive line was horrible compared compared to what the Commanders did. You're correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
But Chicago's got to play Houston next week, and I think you'll see a different result that way.
Well, and there you go. And you look at Atlanta, the next two games they have, the Eagles and the Chiefs, they could actually go 0-3. So if they go 0-3, does the national media still believe that this team can win the NFC South?
Again, is this live or is it Memorex? You and I talked about this at nauseam.
Yes.
Atlanta was finishing third in this division.
Yes.
I said it. Okay.
Yes.
Live on your show. I said this team would turn third.
And you also said that Kirk Cousins was not going to be fully healthy. And you look at him yesterday with that offensive line, as bad as they were, when he tried to move, it was not good at all. And it looked like that's the reason why you don't draft your future quarterback. But then again, you can understand why, because Kirk Cousins may not make it through the season. You pay him all that money. You don't draft an offensive lineman with the number 8 overall.
Week 5.
Yeah.
Week 5. That changed. Since we're talking about that,
yeah,
people were watching some of that Atlanta game because a lot of people had vested interest because, the fake news media turns around. They want to instill so much fear, especially how Atlanta's supposed to win this division this year. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers really quick, Pete.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what people thought about Justin Fields and how they're saying, oh, he should be the starting quarterback. What the hell did he do to make them look good? He made one throw downfield at 45 yards. He ran for 100 yards and missed more wide open receivers. Look, man, I heard it best when Jim Miller was talking about it today. The guy just can't process defenses.
No.
He just can't.
No, he can't process.
He just can't.
And he's been consistent with that throughout his career. But again, I think the thing that you have to worry about with the Atlanta Falcons is that offensive line. And even that defense, they didn't make any plays yesterday. Again, it was a low-scoring game. We talked about it, how Pittsburgh would win that game and how they would get after him. And they definitely got after him. And there were some penalties there on TJ Watt.
4.5-point underdogs.
Yes.
Let me repeat that. 4.5-point underdogs.
Strip sack against Kirk Cousins, and he had no mobility at all. Frankie, anything else here on the
Frankie, I forgot you were on there, man.
He's
so
on there,
sorry.
man.
Yeah, literally, there was a few things I wanted to bring up, but we went
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Bring it up, Frankie.
Oh, man. So
don't worry, you got 10 seconds.
More than 10 seconds. Shut up and be quiet, Harry.
Daniels.
Yes.
You want to know about people that had a bad day as quarterbacks? What about Bo Nix? Come on now. God.
Listen, Bo Nix looks like I thought he would. He came out of Auburn. Anybody want to remember what a 35-year-old rookie looks like? You're watching one.
Well, I think he also came out of Oregon, had some success. We'll see how he plays out. But yes, he didn't look good yesterday.
He did not look good yesterday. Anyway, you know who did look good yesterday? Bucky freaking Irving.
9 carries for 62 yards. He showed that explosive nature, that shiftiness.
How many carries did White get?
Let me see the statistics here because I got them out, so I knew you would do that. Let's see here. White had 15 carries for 31 yards. Irving had 9 for 62. Overall, they had over 100 yards of rushing. That's what you would want, and that's one of the things that I said in this game plan.
Check it off, baby.
Yep.
Win. 100 yards
You
rushing
gotta put-
usually talks
like
about a
I
win.
said before,
Right. But some people
Running
will say,
back
yes. Go ahead.
running backs today in the NFL, they don't age well. You need to have the 2 or 3 backs
That is
you
correct.
have
That is
that
correct.
you're going to be like, oh, well, we got Rashad White, we got Bucky Irving. Who knows? Maybe they got a third guy that's back there that's going to.
Would you still say that if you had a Walter Payton or an Adrian
Stand by,
Peterson
Frankie.
or a Barry Sanders in his prime?
Curtis,
Would you still be saying that?
I'll come back out
What's
to you in a
up?
moment. Stand by.
No,
We're gonna
what I'm trying to say is, Peter,
Yes.
I mean, would people be saying that if Adrian Peterson or Walter Payton or even a Barry Sanders, he'd be in every down back?
Hell yeah, because I could
Okay.
probably keep Barry Sanders another 5 years.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, you don't have those those bell cow running backs a lot.
You do. They just don't want them anymore because they don't want to pay the running back.
They don't want to
Pay
pay
the man.
back, but on top of it, you have the injury situation. Besides Derrick Henry, and he's gotten hurt the last couple of years, you still need 2 good running backs, and that's the reason why I've said over and
Who
over.
was bigger, him or the bus?
Uh,
Really, who was bigger? I know the bus is a little shorter.
I think the bus was bigger, but Derrick Henry is a guy that's also. I mean, I'm not taking away from Jerome Bettis because in his day, because he ran his ass off with the Rams, and they had a porous
I think
offensive line.
Allstott was bigger than Bettis.
I'll tell you right now,
No.
Derrick Henry,
No,
athletically gifted, fast, powerful, and
I know Mike Allstott, big back, but no, not the size of Derrick Henry, and not even close to being a Jerome Bettis.
both of
Really?
those guys are
Yeah,
big.
I know. Trust me when I tell you, he wasn't as big.
Out of Joliet, Illinois, right?
Mhm.
Harry the Greek
Yes,
for
sir.
Mike Allstott. There you go, from Purdue. Went to Purdue.
You know,
Yep.
that is my second favorite Buccaneer of all time. First, John Lynch. Anyway, next thing I really want to. Mike Evans. Did I not say he was the GOAT?
You
You're
did
the
say
man.
yourself, Frankie.
Mike
You
Evans
did,
was the GOAT.
and he absolutely made some great catches in this game. And who would he's killed the Commanders, he's killed the Washington franchise over his career. He takes that ball right away, and then on the second touchdown, Baker puts it right there where he knows Evans is going to be. Evans is just playing; he's still playing at a top level. And people say, "Well, when is the cliff coming? When is it?" I don't know when that cliff's coming, but he's still playing at a top level, right? He's still playing at that. So
why are you looking for the cliff? Just enjoy it.
well, there's a lot
Mike
of pessimists
Evans, the
out
GOAT.
there. Frankie's 31 years old. They say he's got a big time contract. Eventually, he's going to slow down, but he never slows down. He's Mr. Consistent. It doesn't matter what quarterback is back there. If Harry were the quarterback, he would have 1,000 yards. If I were the quarterback, he would have 1,000 yards. If you were the quarterback, he would have 1,000 yards. Look at the plethora, Leo word, of quarterbacks he's played throughout his career. Besides Tom Brady, look at the quarterbacks and look at the level of production. He is Mr. Consistent.
God,
That's
who
why.
all had he had? He had Josh Freeman.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Didn't have
No,
Josh
he didn't
Freeman.
have Freeman.
No.
He had Winston.
He had Winston. He had McCown. He had Glennon.
Glennon.
Yeah. He had Brady, of course.
Brady.
Yeah. Now he has Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's had plenty of quarterbacks, and he's
Speaking
still
of
been
Baker,
yes.
Who said Baker wasn't going to do that great this year?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of haters out there. We
No.
just
Who
not
was that?
Harry, not Harry. Harry's been on the Baker Mayfield train forever now, but there's some
someone
people out
on your
there.
show was like, Baker's not going to do that great. I was like,
wasn't anybody on this show, I don't think.
Not on this show.
Nah, not on this show. Maybe
and
a
I'm
wrong
like,
show.
oh gosh.
No, there were callers that have called up and didn't really
Where you at?
support.
Where you
Frank-
at? Baker?
Frankie, there were callers that would call in
Mm.
and made comments and references that they didn't think that Baker would do that well because he's never had back-to-back good seasons in his career. And that's really basically understandable. It was Peter and I, and believe it or not, Leo was saying that, he felt that, that he would have a good season year two again.
Yeah. Yep. All right,
You
Frankie.
One last thing I wanted to bring up before I probably make my second phone call later on.
Yes.
I saw on the Tom Brady thing that his opening game was Cleveland. Like, why? And then they're talking about how they were going to bring him in mid-season. They were going to rule in on him being owner for the Raiders. And I'm like, how can you be in the booth and be owner of a team? You can't.
It's Tom Brady.
Well, you can't, as much as you, and I think it was David who mentioned this, David Moser, who mentioned this, is you have those production meetings. If he's part owner of the Raiders, but you're having those production meetings, you're getting all that intel and all that insight. Don't you think he would share some of that with the Raiders? That's kind of unfair. So I can see where the NFL and how they're basing that on the decision. Frankie, appreciate the call, man. Use that second call if you want to. Okay, my friend?
All right, guys, take care.
All right, appreciate you. Curtis, call back. I want to get out to this phone call because this guy tried to call. I think his name is JS, and he was trying to call in and talk, so I want to definitely see what he has to say.
He'll call back.
Yeah, I'm calling him back. I want to make sure we get everybody on tonight because I know they want to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so we'll see if we can get them on. We call you back here on the Evolution. What's your name? Where you're calling from? Is this JS?
Hey, Peter, what's going on?
What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
So you might remember me. You call me Joe Stu, but it's actually Josue.
It's okay. So it's not Joe Stu. It's what is it now?
You can call me Sway.
All right, Sway. Yes, I know who you are. You're on Facebook all the time. You're always saying I cover the Bucs way too much here. You want to cover other sports?
No. Let's back that up.
Yes.
I actually have some questions.
Okay.
It's not that you don't cover the Bucs too much. It's that you don't cover all the other teams enough as you do the Bucs.
So what team would you like us to cover for you?
Is that a fair assessment there, Harry? Because we do USF coverage too. Sway.
I'd love to know who you want them to cover more because we like to cater to everything.
Yeah, we do, man. I mean, we're open to it.
I wanted to come on the StreamYard. That's why I typed it in the chat.
No. Unfortunately, that's not that kind of show where we just allow just people to come on there. We have producers that take care of these things. We do appreciate it. You can go ahead and DM Pete, and maybe we can interview you to see what's going to go on, to see what you have to offer. But just putting a link in the StreamYard just to come in is not something we typically do.
We should. I will tell you this, Harry. I would like to open that back up again. We have a fan come on. He says what he wants to say on video.
Well, we do that. We do that twice. We do that twice a season, Pete, especially in the playoffs to get fans' reactions.
Yeah. I think we should open that up again. I think he's given us a good idea. So maybe we'll open that up.
I'll put it in.
If we do that from now on, Sway, you got to have good internet. You got to make it somewhat brief. You can't be on the whole segment, but you could say what you want to say. So we're going to open that up for you web heads out there, for you fans of the sports web. What you want to talk about. We like to stay on the Bucs, but if you want to change subject and talk about something else,
it's right there. Sway,
yes.
I just put it on there. Go ahead and click on and do it. Usually we have to vet you, but apparently he's the owner. Come on in. We love it. The water's warm, baby. Come on.
Come on in. All right.
I'll try and come on after this phone call if that's okay.
Sure. I'll tell you what. Just make your phone call. Talk about it tonight, and then we'll get you on again because I want to make sure that we focus on this show here, but we'll get you on in the future. How about that? We'll plan it out when we'll do something like that for all the fans. But go ahead. What's on your mind tonight here on the Evolution?
Yeah, so first off, I appreciate you guys taking my call. I know, Peter, I was telling you that I'm going to come on, call in, and come on live.
Yeah.
I've just been so busy, but I've had time. I got time tonight.
Okay, so good, man. Good. So what do you think about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
So, well, a little bit about the Bucs, I guess. It's, I'm not going to leave the Bucs out. Good game yesterday. I didn't see it, so I don't have much to say about it. I'm not really a big football watcher as a whole, as you can tell and see from our previous interactions.
Okay.
But I also want to talk about. So I've been on social media.
So what would you like to talk about if you don't want to talk about the Bucs? You didn't watch the game. I got to hear this, man. Seriously.
Yeah, you want to talk about the Rays? The Rays.
You got to stimulate this mind here, because
the Rays won yesterday too. So double victory Monday for the Rays too. But unfortunately,
that's great. Super Bowl, World Series.
Shut up, Harry, and be quiet. That's you right there. Okay, so the Rays lose tonight.
You know, Peter's birthday is October 3rd.
You shut up and be quiet. Let him talk what he wants.
It is, though.
No, it is. And I expect everybody to participate in that celebration. Of course, that's a Thursday night where the Bucs will play the Atlanta Chicken Hawks and most likely will win that game because that's what I want for my birthday. So I expect everybody to either give to Facebook stars, YouTube super chats, or, yes, I take money too here on the Evolution. All right, Sway, I know you want to say something, so go ahead and say it, man. We're messing with you here.
Y'all good. I'm just laughing along with y'all.
Good.
So the NFL, okay, so they had this game in Brazil the other night, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw a lot of, and then Roger Goodell is coming out and saying that he wants to have NFL games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the comment section, right? Take it for what you may will, right? But I saw a lot of complaints about how Goodell is ruining the product.
Okay.
But if he's ruining the product, why in the hell are y'all still watching? Y'all hate watching.
Well, we love.
That's my beef.
Because there's a lot of people out there that don't like it. They just want to be negative. It doesn't matter what the NFL does, what Roger Goodell does. They hate Goodell. But you're exactly right. People are going to watch football. Football is America's sport right now, whether you have bad fields or not.
Why is that, Peter? Why is that?
I think
Help me understand it, because I don't really understand it.
Well, what do you not understand? I mean, you have a $1 billion revenue system. You have people watching games on Monday night, people watching games on Thursday night. You had a Friday night game. The ratings are there. Streaming rights are there where you have Netflix taking over. You have Amazon Prime. You have storylines there. You have, players.
So there aren't.
What?
All right, go ahead. I'm going to let you finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just have the storylines there. You have players, Taylor Swift and Kansas City. Well, Kansas City. I mean, there's a lot of storylines. There's a lot of players, a lot of superstars. Football is taken over. That's the reason why baseball has changed all their rules to make the game a little bit faster, trying to compete with football. Basketball is trying to do the same thing. It's not to say they're not getting the ratings, but football will always be king in this country, period.
I'm glad you bring up the rule changes, because isn't football doing the rule changes too? And I hear a lot of complaints again about the rule change. Oh, they want to make it 7-on-7 flag football, take the pads off. But yet, here y'all are every week talking about it till your ears fall off.
Well,
so I don't understand it. Again, help me understand.
I just think there's a concern to take the physicality out of the game. I think it's the same thing with the NBA, right? You're taking the big men out of the game. It's now a shooting league more than anything else. You look at football, same thing. It's a passing league these days. You still have defense. You still have to have defense to win championships. But there's a lot of purists out there when you're talking about basketball, when you're talking about baseball, when you're talking about football, that want to keep the same rules there. And right now, the NFL, the reason why you're changing those rules, and you've changed the rules the last 10 to 15 years, is because of all the lawsuits that the league could definitely be down the pike. Are coming down the pike from former players for CTE, concussions, and stuff like that. So that's the reason why you have to change the rules. So it doesn't matter what anybody says. At the end of the day, football will always be king in this country, period. I'm sorry. And internationally, you can see that the NFL and Goodell is trying to expand.
And a lot of people are hypocrites because they complain about the sport, but yet they watch it.
Everybody
I'm
always
calling that out too.
Well,
y'all can feel free to dispute it. I would love to hear y'all arguments, but again, like I said, everyone that's a football fan that complains online and in interviews that the sport, they're ruining the sport, the grandeur of the game or what have you.
Right.
But yeah, every Sunday, Saturday, Monday, whatever, most of y'all are. I'm not, but most of y'all are.
And that's what I don't understand here, Sway. Why aren't you watching football? Why don't you like football as a sport?
He just said, because he says he thought it was ruined.
You thought it was ruined by the rules changes.
Yeah, it's been going on there for a while. Don't even get me started about that's a great call, but don't get me started about gambling and
Wait, thanks a lot for the call, man. Use that second call if you want to, man. We appreciate you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. We'll keep this going later. Thank you.
My goal is to get you to watch some football games this year. That's my goal. But I know you're a baseball fan. Really quick before you leave here,
I was gonna say I have been to quite a few Bucks games in my life. Like
Okay.
I go pretty much. I went every year during the Jeff Garcia, during those years in the 2010s and stuff like that, like the late 2000s, 2010s. So when I was younger, I did enjoy the game. It's just that it's so much politics, so much like it's taking over
You
everything.
just
Like
hey,
I just
listen.
don't like the
Let me
I
go
just don't
full
like that
screen here.
aspect.
Let me go full screen. Okay, here we go. This is how you solve this. You turn off all the noise, my friend. You just like the sport for what the sport is. It's not about politics. It's not about this. It's not about rule changes. It's about the game of football. It's about the game of baseball. It's about the game of basketball. You just take it for what it is. You put all that outside noise and you enjoy the level of competition. You enjoy the storylines that you get offered every week, especially in football. You enjoy the aspects of the game and you forget about all the outside noise and all that nonsense. That's it.
Peter, there's so much noise going on right there. I'm not trying to get political. They're not televising it. They play 20 different national anthems before the game. There's so many. I don't care. I just love the game of football.
That's it.
You know what? 9 times out of 10 when I watch a game, I don't have a commentator on.
That's it.
Do you know why I don't have the commentator on? Because I like to see with my own eyes. Because no matter how not biased that they are biased.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I mean, there's a guy in the back room who knows that more than anybody. Okay. Seriously. He really does. I mean, he loves different announcers when I'm talking about Tampa Bay Ray. I know you do as well, but me, I could care less. I don't want to hear what they got to say. To me, I watch the game for other reasons other than the fact that I played the game and I love the game.
That's it. Sway, just enjoy the game for what it is, my friend, and enjoy this show for what it is. Use that second call anytime, and you're always welcome here on The Evolution. All right, my friend?
All right.
All right. Good stuff. And there you go. All right, let's get this guy on and we'll go out to the comments here, but let's go ahead and go out to his intro. Here we go.
Mr. Kennedy!
Hey, man, he's tagging me in. I'm tagging him in, buddy. Ray, tag me out, bro.
You're out? You're out of here? You're out of here?
You got me. Hey, the Greeks got to eat dinner sometimes. You know
I
what?
already ate.
This room just got smarter getting him in the room.
Okay. All right, Mr.
Tampa Bay Ray just made the room smarter. The IQ went up about 30 points real quick.
Well, Harry, first, did you hear why Mr. and Mrs. Potato were disappointed at the man their daughter was marrying?
What?
Mr. and Mrs. Potato were disappointed at the man that their daughter was marrying. You know why?
Why?
Because he was a commentator.
Oh, man.
You guys were back there. Listen. Okay.
He wasn't a crispy tater?
Did it really get smarter, though?
Yes, it did. You know what? I can hang out for 5 more minutes. This is good.
You can hang out for
Peter,
a little bit.
Before you get to the comments, let me just mention, I mentioned when the Miami Dolphins were in town scrimmaging the Bucks, I mentioned that was anyone going to ask Tyreek Hill when he named his 5 top quarterbacks this last summer? And he named Tua, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and then they asked him for a 5th, and he said Baker Mayfield. Just want to point out that if you go to NFL.com, the top 6 quarterbacks, and I say that because Matthew Stafford threw the ball 83 times last night, Tua, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, but Baker Mayfield with a 146 percentage yesterday and over an 80% completion percentage to lead the NFL. We've always talked about what the Buccaneers team would do if this offense could find a way to keep up with this defense. And I think with Liam Cohen and the way the Bucs look, and I get it, we're not goobers, T-Kraz. We're not saying we're Super Bowl bound already, but we're talking about the fact that this Buccaneers team does have an offense. They gave a lot of tape to study for those Detroit Lions this week. You put an offense with this Buccaneers defense, we're going to have a little bit of fun in 2024. We're not goobers. We're fans.
Yeah, but I think
told you this room just got smarter. I can't recite crap like that. Not crap. I meant that all sincerity.
Well, and also
Ray, I think you need to go feed some birds tomorrow and squirrels.
Oh,
don't even go there, Harry.
Oh, I'm going there. There's a reason why.
All right,
I will talk to you tomorrow.
You want to hang out for a little bit, or you're out of here?
bro. Seriously, I got to bounce. I
Okay,
went three.
promote yourself.
I went 3-1 over the weekend. I'll tell you what. Thank you for all the people that are shouting me out on my DMs, asking me for picks. You're going to get them live this Wednesday. We're going to give you 6 picks. 6. The Greeks got 6 picks. That's all I'm going to say. Monday and Wednesday nights, I'm going to be right here with the great Peter Blake and the best of the Bay, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray, Leo Haggerty, and who knows, maybe J.C. Allen will come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we always have J.C. Allen on, maybe the great T.J. Reeves, Jason Powers. Haven't heard from him. I mean,
I seen Jason. He's at the dog track a couple of times.
Really? Wow. Okay, we got to get.
I've seen him a couple of times out there. I love Jason.
Yeah,
Awesome guy. Awesome.
Yes.
Seriously, thanks for all the comments that were out there. I don't understand some of the phone calls. I really don't.
We got to get Sway. We got to get Sway out of politics and out of thinking.
No, Sway's fine, man. I think he wants to talk cooking show or something like that. That's
Shut
the
up
other,
and be
that's
quiet.
the other channel. It's on YouTube. It's what we had for dinner.
Do that. You don't do that at all. All right, Harry the Greek. Appreciate the time as always here on the Sports Web. All right, boss?
Take care. Thank you, guys. Have a really good evening. Seriously, Peter, what a great win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I cannot wait to see what's happening. And I'm telling you now, you're not going to get a better line than what it is right now. If you like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you want to play them, I am endorsing this bet for you. Get it quick because the line's going to come down. Right now, you can get 7.5 points because of the injuries on that defense. Talk to you later. I'm Harry the Greek. And remember, keep your bets low and your returns high. Deuces, everybody.
Hey, listen, really quick before you do leave, James Earl Jones passed away today.
Oh, very sad.
Yes, very sad.
God bless him. 93 years old.
93 years old. Darth Vader, the voice of Darth Vader. Also, very good. From a sports aspect, Field of Dreams, which always makes me think of my dad. I get sad about that movie. One of his greatest roles there. Coming to America. I mean, give me a memory of James Earl Jones here on the Sports Web.
I'm not going to give you a memory. We'll be here for the next 2 hours. Probably by far one of the greatest actors and just an unbelievable man who lived an unbelievable life. He's going to be very well missed. And it brings back a lot of childhood memories. And I never knew that he was 93 years old. It was just unbelievable. But it's surreal. And he's going to be very well missed.
Absolutely. All right, Harry the Greek. Appreciate the time here again on the Sports Web. We'll see you soon. All right.
Ray, feed them squirrels.
All right, there you go. Ray, feed the squirrels right there. We'll come back with Ray always trying to get a nut here on the Sports Web. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Oh, by the way, thanks a lot for showing up yesterday. Mom actually thought you showed up, and I told her the ghost of Ray Kennedy was in the building. Let's go ahead and read some of these. I know you'll be out there eventually. Frankie wants to call in and use his second call. So let's go out to Frankie from Wisconsin, the Hill Mark here. What's on your mind, Frankie, using your second call tonight?
What is going on, Ray? How are you doing on this wonderful Victory Monday, sir?
Very good, Frankie. Good to hear from you, brother.
I just wanted to say hello to you. All right. I want to rebuttal this because this was being brought up by Sway, and you had to bring up a comment, and I got distracted because Monday Night Raw is on, and then I said, you know what? I just got to pause this because it was getting intense.
Okay.
So, but if you guys remember this, back in like the 80s and probably the 90s, baseball used to be America's pastime. It used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It was that strike in the mid-90s that killed baseball.
That is correct. Absolutely. It's the strikes over time that's killed it.
Ever since then, football has been America's pastime. I'm sorry.
Why do you think football? Well, it's not America's pastime. I think baseball is America's pastime, which means it's in the past. Football is America's game right now. In your opinion, besides being a Bucs fan, why do you think football right now is the greatest game to watch and the reason why a lot of people are watching this sport?
I think
is it the storylines? Is it the superstars? What is it for you that makes you watch football?
America as a whole has gotten a little more violent, a little more morbid at times.
Okay.
And they want to see the violence. You know what I mean? They want to see it displayed. And so that's why it's like, oh, football is violence. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, it is. I mean, that's kind of what got me playing it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And no offense, like I loved playing baseball when I was a kid, but dude, have you ever tried watching a baseball game for like 3 hours? Granted, you're picking it up with all these rules and making it faster. But,
right. It's gotten faster.
Oh my
Let me go on
gosh.
to Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy here. I mean, you're a baseball fan. We're both baseball fans, but we prefer to watch football. Why? Is it because it is so fast? Is it because of the storylines? What is it because, in your opinion? Sway brings it up. I mean, I think it's a good point. Stand by, Frankie. Caller, let me go ahead and finish up with Frankie on his second call. We'll come out to you. Stand by, hold the line here. Let me go back out to Frankie. I'll get this question answered. Ray, what's your opinion on this? Sway brought up some good points tonight about why he doesn't understand why football is America's game right now. What do you think it is?
I think it's a combination of what Frankie says, the violence and the nature of our society, but also I think it's a matter of the fact that with baseball, it could be a 17-and-a-half-hour game. It could go 32 innings. There's no definitive end. Whereas as life's gotten faster and we've all gotten multitask, triple tasking, quadruple tasking, we like our sports to have clocks. We know when they're going to end. We know about overtime. Let's even get rid of that. Let's figure out ways to make each team get a chance and get it done. I think the romanticism for me about baseball is there is no definitive end. You're going to play till it's over. But in our society today, maybe we don't have that disposable time. So I think it's a combination of all things. Frankie hit on a few of them there, and I think it's also the time factor.
All right, there you go, Frankie. There's your question being answered there by Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. We got to run, my friend. We appreciate the second call. We'll see you on Wednesday night. All right, boss? Happy Victory Monday again.
Take care.
Frankie, it's always good to hear from you, brother.
Let me go out to the phone lines. What's your name, where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution with yours truly, along with Best of the Bay's Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy.
What's up, guys? It's Johnny Buck up in Tallahassee.
Oh, what's up, Johnny? How you doing, man? What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, nothing much. It was a great season opener, man. I'm excited that Buck season is back in. I'm excited for football season. I just listening to everybody talking about, some people don't watch football because of this anymore. And, I know we had this big thing with all the kneeling and stuff that was going on in the politics, but those people that stepped away from football, I personally feel like they wasn't in it for the long run. I mean, football is a passion, man. If you're passionate about it, I don't really get into other sports. I watch a little bit of hockey. Go Rays. And go Lightning. I love all my Tampa teams, but I love football. I've always been passionate about watching football. Really all that outside stuff, man. If you're really passionate about football, you never really got into that stuff, man. You were just fired up every game, ready to go. And I really think that football is the reason it's so big now. If you look back 100 years ago, back in the days of Rome, we had gladiators and there was big arenas, and football nowadays, that's our gladiators. These are big guys. They're warriors. They're out there doing their thing, and they're in battle. And it's like Rome back in the day, man. We're in a big arena and we're watching, the titans of the earth are going at it.
I mean, I think it makes lots of sense, right, Ray? It's all about the physicality of the game. I think, it's the storylines, it's the superstars, but he likes the physicality of it. That's the reason why you watch football in the first place. Good stuff there. Anything else here on the sports web? Any Bucks thoughts at this point?
Hey, not really. I think we really need to. I think for defense, our biggest thing, we got to tighten up on letting some of them run plays get open. I think that's really our biggest thing on defense. I feel like Washington got a few big run plays in there on us that shouldn't have happened. We had a few missed tackles on defense that I felt like, hey, those were hits. Those should have come down. So I think just tightening up on our tackles on defense, trying to shut that run game down a little bit better. I mean, other than that, offense looked great coming out. And I know we got this division for sure.
How many wins this year? How many wins this year, Johnny?
12-5.
12-5. So 12-5. Who's the rookie that you're most looking forward to seeing? Because we put these predictions out there yesterday. So who's the rookie? Is it Bucky Irving? Is it Graham Barton? Is it
Irving?
Okay.
All day Irving. I'm always a smaller guy. When I played football, I was always a running back.
Okay.
I was always quick on my feet, and when I played a little bit in high school and rec park football and stuff. So I've always been kind of a running back guy. So I'd like to see the running game really kick off this year and really get a lot of 100+ run games would be great.
Yeah, it'd absolutely be great. And who's the MVP of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is it Baker Mayfield or somebody else?
I love Baker, man, but Mike Evans has always been my guy. He's my favorite Buck, and he's always going to be my MVP.
Listen, is this the first time you call this show?
It's not.
All right. Well, listen, don't be a stranger, my friend. You definitely need to continue to call this show. Second call is available, Johnny, all the way up there in Tallahassee. We appreciate you as always, my friend. And thanks a lot for the time. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Absolutely. Love that. It's exciting. It is. Go Bucks.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Go Bucks. Love it. All right. Let's go back out to the comments here, and we'll get out to you, Ray. But I want to read these comments from these guys here. Let's go out to Lucas. Evans is about to cook Carlton Davis. That is the matchup we may be previewing here. Coming up. I mean,
last night there was a play last night where Carlton had his long arm up in on the pass that was dropped in the end zone. He had good coverage, but the pass bounced out of the receiver's hands. So it was great that they gave him a little love, and they mentioned former Buccaneer that Detroit traded for, and Carlton Davis, who he's a dog. He can play. I think that Todd Bowles and his team, they had a plan for that secondary. They didn't plan to have the injuries that we suffered or were looking to go into with Winfield in a boot and going into Detroit this week. But fortunately, you're not going to find a mobile quarterback in Detroit. You're going to find a pocket quarterback, and they're going to be looking for Amon St. Brown over the middle, and they're going to try to get deep. Our defense has to go against a pretty good offense, but you don't have a mobile quarterback. So that's going to be a little bit helpful in helping us cover the back end. The linebacker is going to be able to cheat a little more in the coverage and try to keep the deep stuff from getting behind them.
And I want to go out to this really quick because I didn't get a chance to promote this, but definitely go to the sportsweb.live and also to be able to find all these podcasts. And I say that with this guy because he's been preaching it for years. We are now on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcast out there, Amazon, all those locations where you can find those great podcasts. You can find the Sports Web. So again, the sportsweb.live. And all your podcast platforms, definitely go ahead and visit those, download them, and be a part of it, especially if you guys don't want to see our faces here on the Sports Web. Evening, gents. Happy victory. Right. I don't have any problem. I know that look like Revenge of the Killer Tomato here with the red
sun there. He did get sun. I got great job. Great job at the tailgate. What the Buck tailgate for a cause yesterday. But I saw they turned you and you were full facing that western sky and that sun was just on you. But Peter, you didn't let it show. So as always, 100% great job. But yeah, you did get a little sun yesterday.
I did get a little sun yesterday, and I will tell you right now, definitely got to use that tint, Scott Bradford. We're going to use that a couple weeks from now. We're going to see what that camera shot looks like, and I definitely need plenty of paper towels or need to bring a rag because I kept on having – it looked like I was crying on air. It was not crying on air. It was just sweat was coming in my eyes, and I was trying to wipe my eyes out because it was so freaking hot out there. The sun was trying to melt me, the laptop, and of course make my
you and JP at camp that day. You looked like you were doing an SNL sketch with the sweat machine going. And I mean, you guys were still giving us great content, the updates, what was going on in camp. But I was watching. I was in Carolina where the humidity was like so low, and I'm like, oh, you guys. But it's a testament to your professionality that you didn't let it rock. You brought it through, and you did a great job yesterday, and you always do a great job there, Mr. Peter Blake.
And we got to get you out there, Tampa Bay, right? Because I know you'll love the tailgate. You'll love the food.
I love the What the Buck tailgates. I got Bradford and Cheryl Stewart. They
Scott,
do a great job.
Got to get him out there. We got to get him some tickets to the Bucks game so he could come out there, be a part of the tailgate, and be a part of the evolution as he always is on Monday and Wednesday nights before and after USF games. And I don't think we have a before USF, but after USF games, and we'll have you covered this week. I promise. I had to get some stuff done there with driving Uber to make some extra money. So USF put up a valiant effort, if you will, for 3 quarters versus Alabama, and then Alabama closed it out. Let me go out to Kyle here. Evening, gents. Happy Victory Monday. Was a good game, but the defensive injuries are very concerning, especially so early in the season. Big test for this team this week in Detroit. Go Bucks. Absolutely. With that being said, how disappointed are you to hear not only the back end with the corners here, losing Zion McCollum to a concussion? You're not sure if he's going to be able to clear concussion protocol. Josh Hayes being out, Bryce Hall, but the big one of the day, Antoine Winfield Jr. gets hurt in the second to last play of the game. I mean, what's going on here? Winfield Jr. out. What do you say?
Well, that was the most disappointing one. And the fact of the matter is, because you're thinking we had that game, the Bucks had that game in hand before the end of the third quarter. I mean, Washington came back and they scored a couple late, and so the score looks a little more respectable. You want the guys to eat. It's week 1. You got a big game next week in Detroit. Hindsight's always 20/20. You wish that Winfield would have been out. I was wondering at one point in the fourth quarter, why is Baker still in there? It's just a matter of I think Todd Bowles, he continues to learn how to coach this team. It's only his second year now. I mean, he coached in under Arians, his third year, but he's still learning. And now he's got another offensive coordinator. He wanted Liam to have time to work out some kinks. And I think the Buccaneers offense will continue to, get a little bit better in different areas, hopefully even better in the run game, which would be just fantastic. Disappointing that you got Winfield in there late, disappointing at the secondary. But again, Detroit's not a push it down the field deep kind of team. They're more of a dink and dunk over the middle running game kind of a team with that strong offensive line. So you're going to depend on your front 7 to go up against their front 7. And let's remember last year when we got knocked out of the playoffs in a very loud Detroit, which is going to be again there in the Motor City this week, Buccaneers really didn't get beat that game. I mean, we lost that game, but we lost that game late. We had a good chance. I think we still have a good chance going into week 2 this year.
Absolutely. All right. You're completely correct about that. You got a great chance, but you feel a lot better with having the best safety in the game healthy, and you're not going to have them. So guys are going to have to step up. Christian Izzian's going to have to step up. Possibly your guy there, Funderburk, will have to step in, and we'll see what the Bucs do when it comes to going outside of the organization. Let's go out
and
to
if Jordan Whitehead blitzes, don't miss the quarterback. Make sure you don't Joe Tryon-Shanka past him. Get to the quarterback. I know it was Jane Daniels. You're talking about a mobile quarterback, but yeah, if you're going to commit the blitz, make sure you get to the quarterback and not past him.
Well, JTS had a good day yesterday. Savasier Dennis had a pretty good day yesterday with the set. So Greek, when is Peter's birthday? We all know that. John says, sorry, our running defense. Absolutely. Sway, Rays just lost 2-1. Good game. So no more Victory Monday, unfortunately, for the Rays. We're talking about the Bucs. It is Victory Monday here. We got beat on some key runs on the defense by Washington. We got to tighten that up. Let me go out to Lucas again. The Rams had backup tackles in, and they still couldn't get pressure. Absolutely correct. I'm still the stash of Tampa Bay. I'm still waiting for the negative impact of Canales leaving. Cohen are ready to prove all the talking heads wrong. The offense is going to be a legend once the whole offensive line gets in game shape and gels. Good comment by the stash. Appreciate you as always. Shooter and Stash, of course, does great stuff there with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and also comes on here and talks some Buccaneers. The Greek, we know Nick there, right there. Hungry Howie's is good. I just got to confirm that. Yo. John, offense had a great season opener. Great way to start the season. Absolutely. Christopher Cole, everyone. What's going on, Christopher?
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go out to Trevor. Let's go. Let's go out to Mike. Is Roger going to take his nail polish wearing quarterback on Michigan Avenue? I don't know. You have to ask him the next time he calls in. Trying to call in, Sway. Thank you very much for that call. Domino's barbecue chicken pineapple pizza is damn good. What do you lie on that? Domino's pepperoni
pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry. I can eat it if I'm dead hungry, but you put a pineapple on a pizza, that just takes way too far in the wrong direction.
I gotta tell you right now, my sister loves pineapple on the pizza, so we eat that.
Okay with it.
It's not bad. It's like right, exactly. Mama said Caleb Williams is ornery because he has all those weapons and no touchdowns. Thank you very much for the Waterboy reference.
Ooh, yeah.
Very good. Mike F. Winfield is out. I think a lot of Bucs fans were saying that today, including yours truly. Trying not to say it on the phone with my sales job, talking to Gertrude, Esther, and Winifred. when I heard that news today. 7 hits to hold fast, hard. Jaden Daniel needs to put some meat on his bones. If he's going to run that much, he needs to tighten his helmet up too. Not going to run away from those NFL players. FGB. Let's go out to Giovanni. Phillies fans are nasty and they judge our team. That's why I'm not watching the Rays. Gerald, met you yesterday. What's up, Peter? What's going on, boss? How you doing? We put out the link out there. John says, I'm back. What did I miss? Well, you missed the conversation of why you watch football. Sway mentioned it tonight. He doesn't feel like football should be America's game. Why is it America's game? Why don't we focus more on this show with baseball and NBA in general? And I think it's overwhelming. The reason why a lot of people love football is because, first, our society's become a little bit more violent. That's what I've got out of this, which I would tend to agree with to a certain point. And then also, you always love the physicality of the sport in general. Whether they have those safety rules or not, because they want to avoid lawsuits, football is football. And there's still storylines there. There's still superstars. And because the game has become more of an offensive scoring league, I think that's also attractive. But also, when it comes down to it, you always got to have a defense to win for you, because defense wins championships. Yes,
well, don't forget Pete Rozelle, the original commissioner of the National Football League. He was a Park Avenue, Madison Avenue kind of guy. He was all about understanding what people were interested, understanding what advertisers needed to sell a product. And so he took the NFL. He realized he had this, because it'd been around for over 100 years, and he took this sport. He was able to commercialize it, and we don't have a problem with it. He was able to take everything about football that was great, the violence, the nature, the sudden death, the gridiron, as George Carlin would do, is between baseball, home plate, the gridiron, sudden death, overtime. But he took this and he commercialized it, and you saw that with Paul Tagliabue, and then right up through Roger Goodell. They continued to realize what the people wanted, what the advertisers needed, and they've made a product that I think we all are on board with and we love. Baseball's starting to come around. They're making it faster, a pitch clock. They're trying to make the game shorter, and they're still America's pastime. Baseball will always be America's pastime. Civil War soldiers returned from the Civil War in the 1850s, and they brought this sport back to their towns, and it went all over the place. But football, they understand the advertising side of it, and all sports have learned from what the NFL with the Shield has done over the last 70 years.
Well done. Well stated, my friend. You're killing it tonight, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. No wonder you're best right there. It made lots of sense. Go Bucks. Go Bucks. Let's go! I'll do this one, too.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Peter here, I just sent you the video of Tyreek Hill getting put in handcuffs. Did you by chance see that? Because here's how I look at this. I heard this incident, and I felt like when I saw the cam footage there, Tyreek should have rolled down his window. He should have complied. But then you look more into it, and it's like, was that really necessary to use that much force to take somebody out when you know who he is? You know he's Tyreek Hill. Maybe the guy didn't, but you got your license. You take him out of the car. You physically take him out of the car. You put him on the ground. You put him into handcuffs. And then he's actually saying, I just got knee surgery, and they're trying to put him down. And they didn't arrest him, they detained him, and they detained also Calais Campbell, who was trying to figure out that situation. And listen, Tyreek, did he do any favors? But I feel like all those police should have been fired. I just feel so strongly about that. They should have been fired. The way they handled that situation. I don't know if you saw the cam footage. I know it's controversial. I know it's a controversial subject. I'm not trying to get political here, but I think there is a way to de-escalate the situation before it gets out of hand. It's not like he had a gun. He may have been speeding. We don't know how much he was speeding. The reports are 120 miles an hour, but when you see the cam footage, it doesn't look like that he's going that fast. And to get it, he's going to a game to play a football game. So make some sense of this, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy.
Well, first of all, hats off to the Miami Police Department. They went ahead and put that officer on administrative leave immediately, which is what you normally do when there's a shooting or there's a death involved or any kind of like that. But they put him on administrative leave. Doesn't mean he's fired. Doesn't mean he's going to get away with anything. But they're going to go ahead and investigate this, and it's going to depend on how Calais Campbell or Tyreek want to pursue it, because at the end of the day, you're trying to not, because Tyreek even said in the post-game press conference, I would like to have been a cop and I respect you all. And I think that was really aces across the board. I think Drew Rosenhaus talked to Tyreek, and Drew Rosenhaus was at the scene there within minutes after it occurred. Just goes to show you the kind of an agent that Drew Rosenhaus is. We've always known that since he was Warren Sapp's agent here, and the kind of agent that he is. But at the end of the day, it's going to depend on how far they want to pursue this. The NFL, it's week 1. Everything's great. Things are going so well. No one wants to get away with anything, but I think Miami will investigate this. And yeah, how did Tyreek end up face down in handcuffs? And even Calais Campbell ended up in handcuffs. So I would pose that guy with that voice and his size is so imposing. But at the end of the day, was it just the officer has a problem with football? Does he have a problem with the color of the players that were stopped? Does he have a problem with just, being a Sunday and he's having to work overtime because the Dolphins are in town? I think they'll get to the bottom of it, but I don't think it had to escalate that far. You're 100% right.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, and I felt like the actions. Just looking at it, it really pissed me off to say the least. Because I've been stopped before and I've been asked to comply, but there's just some guys that are just having a bad day, or they want to prove a point because he is a superstar, and I don't think it was needed to do that. Do I think Tyreek helped the situation? No, of course not. And we've learned, when usually police officers tell you something to do, you comply with it. But I don't think he did anything that was violent. He didn't want to roll down his whole window. They wanted his window rolled down. He gave his license. He did what he was supposed to do. He just didn't do enough. I just thought it was completely unnecessary, ridiculous, and embarrassing. And an embarrassing incident overall. Now, this is what the Miami Dolphins had to say. We are saddened by the overly aggressive and violent conduct directed towards Tyreek Hill, Calais Campbell, and Jonnu Smith by police officers before yesterday's game. It is both maddening and heartbreaking to watch the very people we trust to protect our community use such unnecessary force and hostility towards these players. Yet is also reminded that every situation like this ends in peace, as we are grateful that this one did. What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill is a question that will carry with a resounding impact. They also go on to say, we are proud to have a strong and positive relationship with the Miami-Dade Police Department and other law enforcement agencies, and we recognize the vast majority of officers do serve the community with the utmost character and desire to protect all citizens. However, as it is on full display in the video released tonight, there are some officers who mistake their responsibility and commitment to serve with misguided power. While we're concerned MDPD for taking the right and necessary action to quickly release this footage, we also urge them to take equally swift and strong action against the officers who engaged in this such despicable behavior. We will stand beside Tyreek and other players as they work to use their platform and the situation to make a positive impact in our community. We have always believed that the game of football holds a unique power to bring people together. We remain hopeful that through the collective work of the players, organization, and our community partners, we can create lasting change. That was the Miami Dolphins tonight after the cam footage was released.
Well, I'll take you one more. Let's put yourself in this police officer's shoes, okay? Sure. He's got a family to feed. He's not a professional football player. He didn't just sign a $30 million a year contract extension. And he's looking at what happened there in Texas with Rashee Rice. And he doesn't know when he pulls Tyreek over doing 125 miles an hour, is this the car that Tyreek was running? And maybe he's loaned a car that he leased to somebody else, and maybe they're racing that car. So he's automatically got to approach it as if this is his job. He has to cross all the T's, dot the I's. I'm not saying Tyreek was wrong in the way he acted, but you got to understand from the officer's standpoint is that in retrospect, hours, days, weeks later, no matter how this goes, somebody's going to question, you pulled over Tyreek, we saw you, what happened? And at the end of the day, he's got to answer for whether he did his job right. So I think from that standpoint, Tyreek's got to, put your hands, and it's not a black thing, it's a white thing. I've been pulled over by a police officer. My hands are up on my steering wheel because I want the officer, because my dad was a cop, and I remember the scariest thing, 1986, they had a thing in the St. Pete Times. tinted windows on cars, and it showed officers going up to pull over a car, and it showed a suspect behind a mirror tint with a gun, and it was talking about the reason why there were laws against mirror tint. So even families of police officers, they have to deal with this all the time. But you take into account that Rashee Rice and what happened there. He's already admitted that he was racing and people got hurt, but he still starts for the Kansas City Chiefs in week 1 there on Thursday night in that big victory. So at the end of the day, maybe the NFL's as much at fault for not having, they want to make everybody innocent until proven guilty. But maybe if they were to put things down and set stone up front and let them know, the world know what their policy is, maybe it would be easier for the Miami-Dade cops to go, well, we're going to let you go. We already ticketed you. Let the NFL take care of it. Will they take care of it? Or at the end of the day, is it all about money?
Well, it's all about the money. And of course, you talk about the Rice situation, 8 felony accounts, which is ridiculous. I can't believe he played. He was able to play. I thought that he would be suspended, but again, we'll see how that case all works out. Henry Ruggs comes to mind, where he actually killed somebody and will be in prison and was a first-round pick. So again, I'm not saying that Hill is without fault with the way he handled the situation, but to warrant taking him out of the car, putting him on the ground into handcuffs, and then while he's telling you, listen, I just had knee surgery to put it, and I get they don't care. They're there to do a job, but it just seems like it's over the top. And you're right. I've been also stopped. I had 20-inch rims on a Mustang, shirt and tie. And they said, you know what? There's something fishy about you. And I said, I'm coming out of the club. I'm not doing anything. Stay in your car. Go right back.
You're wearing a Rolex. You're wearing a Rolex. So right there. I'm kidding.
About 10 to 15 years ago. I mean, that's happened where they stopped me and I go, listen, I'm the Rolex reporter. I got a Rolex from Jake Paul. I'm a sports broadcaster. Can you let me go? And it's happened. They've done it with a warning. That has happened before. But there's also been the other situation where you get stopped because you look suspicious. You get stopped because you have tinted windows and you have 20-inch rims and you don't put that, that spotlight on you, but you also comply. You also, you do what they say because you never know. And I get it. They're under the gun. They're under a job. I just feel like in that situation, the way it was presented was over the top.
Yeah,
and I feel like those officers were on a power trip and most likely should be fired. Just my opinion. If you guys have something to say about it, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. So we talk about some of these situations. We try to stay away from the controversial subjects because, again, we don't want to get – I don't think it's a political thing. What I think it is a situation that's been blown out of proportion, if that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that they put him down. I mean, if they had video of Tyreek swinging, trying to run, which, by the way, if he did try to run, they weren't going to catch him. That's Tyreek freaking Hill. No. But, I mean, put him down, face down. There's one thing between trying to make sure someone understands the law and they're complying and trying to be like, this is the way we treat people. We put them down in cuffs and we embarrass them on a hot day on a way. And especially, they probably knew, I'm sure, before he hit the ground that this was Tyreek Hill and he was on his way to Hard Rock Stadium there to play. So, it was a power trip. There was definitely something wrong. The cops on administrative leave, they're going to investigate it further. I think that you'll find out that there's going to be some type of a sanction put against him. But I think both sides were wrong at some point. So, where's the gray area? You got to find that.
I think the cops are more wrong than anything else. And I think that's what a lot of people will point to and say, this is the reason why we react the way we do. And that's a fair assessment because they were on. But is every cop like this, every police officer like this? No, I think this is a bad batch of guys that are not doing their job correctly. Just my opinion. If you have a problem with that, you can go ahead and talk about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Same old Jets. So I guess the Jets aren't doing anything again. All those expectations. I want to go out to Instagram Live. Edward says, hi, go Bucks. Is it this live? It is live, Edward. And I believe that is Edward Gross. Thanks a lot for tuning into the Evolution. The open phone lines are there. I know you're on a Victory Monday. You want to talk about it. Let's go out to Sway again. Thanks for letting me call in. Harry, it's past your bedtime. Go to sleep. I said what I said. Come on now. You don't want that smoke from Harry the Greek. My point is that you can talk about football way too much and barely keep the same energy to all other sports. I believe we try to do that here on this show, but I always tell this story in broadcasting school. with the great Matt Salmon. He used to say, pound the rock. And the 4 things you talk about on sports radio: football, football, football. What's the 4th thing? Is it hockey? Is it baseball? Is it basketball? No, it's football.
More football.
I learned that from the great Matt Salmon. So he's been in the business for a while. I've definitely got some training from those parties and from professors and guys that have been in the business. So yeah, I try to take a key from them. But again, we offer our own take on things, our own opinions, and the way we do things on this show is completely different from everybody else. And I'm proud of that. He can barely answer the question, laugh out loud. Lucas, our offense is going to have to go crazy in Detroit. Pineapple pizza is disgusting. That's what he says. Okay. All right, Lucas. Appreciate the comment. I think some of us agree on this platform. Some of us disagree. Johnny Buck here. Thanks for the call, guys. Love talking Bucks football. John, thanks a lot for the call. Don't be a stranger here on the Evolution of Sports. Sway says hockey's more physical than football. Stop it, dude. But we watch hockey. We love hockey here. We talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning, but football is king. I'm not saying that this is not a Tampa Bay Lightning community, because it is a Tampa Bay Lightning community, Sway. John says, I got caught back in football in our present-day Gladiators. That's okay. Sean says, we are hurt with the D, but the Rams put up a fight against the Lions and barely lost, so we have a very good chance as long as we don't start slow and wear the Lions D down and control the clock and don't rely on our D so much. Is that the biggest concern, obviously, with the injury situation, is that defense? And hopefully you can get back Kalijah Cansey this week to put that pressure on there and help out a JTS and a Yaya Diaby.
Yeah, the biggest concern for me is that Detroit offensive line. They're going to play tough. Dan Campbell's going to have them ready to play tough. They're inspired. But, like I said, last year we went in there in the divisional round of the playoffs after we defeated the Eagles very handily here in Raymond James Stadium. We went up there a week later. The decibels were off the charts. People were still crying because it was their first victory in like 100 years there in Detroit. I kid Brendan Sherman. I'm going to have him hopefully on Cup of Ray this week, and a couple of his friends live from Detroit who are going to be at the game on Sunday, and we're going to try to talk it out a little bit and do a little smack talking. So look for Cup of Ray later in the week. I'm worried about that offensive line because they've got a very formidable offensive line, but I think we've got a very good front seven. And I think if anything else, you talked about a Funderburk. I think we talked about some young players that were stepping up. They're going to be put under pressure with the injuries to the secondary, but I think we always say good front end can make up for a bad back end. We've got a good back end, but we've got a great front end, a front seven, and that's going to win this game for the Bucks in Detroit on Sunday.
Yeah, it's all about the front end, the back end here on this defense, and of course, it's all predicated on the pressure up front. You get pressure up front, and you take the pressure off the back end. You're such an idiot.
I'm coming around the back. I don't care.
There you go. All right, so good stuff there, Sean. Appreciate the comment. Once again. There you go. Let's see. Free Tyreek. Let's go out to Curtis. Curtis, one of my favorite webheads from Newport Richie. Welcome to the Evolution. We'll get back to the comments in a moment. What is on your mind tonight? You're on with yours truly, along with Best of the Base Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy.
Ray, what's up, brother?
Curtis, good to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, how you guys doing in there?
We're doing good. We're talking about, of course, Victory Monday with the Bucks, talking about the injury situation. Should the Bucks address this by going outside of the organization? And, of course, the controversial subject of Tyreek Hill and how that was handled. What do you want to tackle first here?
Well, let's tackle this Tyreek Hill thing.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, because I'm gonna give you guys an example. Excuse me. I've been in that situation.
Okay.
That shit, and excuse my language, that shit sucks.
It does.
Because I've been in that situation to where I was driving somewhere and the cop mistakenly had me for somebody else, and I had my children in the car, and they pulled AR-15s on me and my ex-wife and my kids.
Jesus Christ.
And all because they thought I was somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something. Did you comply with the police officers? Did you when you were stopped?
To the best of my ability.
Okay.
I mean, they pulled me out of the car first.
Wow.
Because they were looking for. Excuse me, I hate to say it, but they were looking for a black male. They pulled me out of the car first and laid me down on the ground immediately.
Okay.
And I was upset by it, but good thing is one of the cops actually knew who I was, because where I worked at the time, he was in there. I worked at GameStop. He used to be in there all the time.
Love GameStop,
So
by the way.
when they pulled me out of the car and he seen me on the ground, he immediately was like, no, wrong guy. Let him up. He's like, that's Curtis. I know who that guy is. That is not who we are looking for.
Yeah.
And, the thing about it is the situation could have completely went left depending on the reaction I could have had.
Curtis.
Because they could have pulled me out of the car. They could have instantly tried to pull me out of the car. And, I could have been, very belligerent and acting some type of way. And that whole situation could have definitely went left field.
When you watch that cam footage of Tyreek and how he handled the situation, do you think it's also on him that he should have just kept his window rolled down? Because I think that would have definitely helped the situation. But again, he did give his license. It didn't seem like he was going to do anything. I get it. He didn't handle it the best of his ability. But my opinion is the cops completely handled this incorrectly. I was ashamed by it. I was disappointed. I was pissed. I thought it was uncalled for. Honestly, it really was uncalled for.
I'm gonna say this, and I hate to bring race into it, but it's hard being a black man to know what's going to happen when you get pulled over by a cop. It is,
brother. Because first of all, our emotions are elevated because you're pulled over by a cop. I don't care if you're white, brown, yellow, red.
No.
Right?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Curtis, and your kids are there, and you're right. You've done nothing wrong. So when the cops automatically assuming that you're the person they're looking for or doing that, tell me I'm wrong, Curtis. The first thing you're thinking about is the kids, because the kids are seeing dad. You're trying to teach the kids the right way. You're trying to teach them that not everyone in this world is a specific way. And then you get pulled over thinking you're somebody else, and they put you down just like that. And as a father, I'm a father, you're a father. The first thing I'm thinking about is what my kids are thinking. And that's just elevating my emotions right there. So 100% so glad to hear that it was able to work out that way.
Absolutely.
And, I also looked at, like they were talking about, what was the golfer that got pulled over before his big match?
Scotty Scheffler. Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
That whole situation was bullshit. Whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say this because I know they're police officers for a reason. Some of these guys get too much power and they don't know how to handle that power.
God complex.
I agree. And again, that's what I saw. That's completely what I saw.
I mean, it reminds you.
You're crying. Remember stuff. Yeah.
Remember the Last Dance thing with Jerry Krause?
Yes.
Reminds you of that? It exactly reminds me of that. Like these guys have some chip on their shoulder for some reason.
Right.
And I understand, shit might not always go the way that you want for it to go.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you take it out on somebody else.
That's it.
Because somebody else could be having a bad day just like you are.
Right. And I think you also take advantage of the situation because he is Tyreek Hill. And it's like, oh, you're trying to
Peter, let's take it this way too. What now? And Curtis, maybe you know, Peter, what is the NFL's current stance as of September 6th, 2024 on marijuana use?
We really don't know.
So the officer, Tyreek's driving 125 miles an hour. The officer can be trying to see if Tyreek's high. And let's be honest, if Tyreek starts rolling the window up, he's kind of acting like someone who's got something to hide. So, there's reasons why the escalations occur, but there's also ways to handle it. And putting someone face down in cuffs isn't the way to handle it. He wasn't fighting. So, like we said, people were wrong on both sides. But we got to remember, there's a lot of mitigating circumstances that you got to take into account.
Right, agree. I think again it could have been de-escalated. And you look at the video, it doesn't look like he's going 125 miles an hour. I wasn't there, but
no, I wasn't
either. I don't know. Again,
and
it just
everybody,
right.
And another thing is everybody's not used to dealing with cops.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everybody's not used to dealing with cops, and you see so much bad stuff nowadays with cops nowadays. I'm sorry, but if you get pulled over, even if you haven't done anything wrong,
sure,
you're still a little bit on edge.
Sure, absolutely.
Every time,
and I think everybody's on edge, because it just comes out of the blue, and you're not sure, if something's suspended. Are they stopping me for Was I going over the speed limit 5 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour? I mean, it's tough these days. I got a Tesla, so I could go 75, 80 miles an hour and not know it and be in a 55. So
Were you getting ready to say it's tough out here for a pimp? Was that where you getting ready to see, Peter? I think you were getting ready to sing that song. I haven't heard that one in a minute.
I mean,
This guy sucks.
no, I was not saying that.
I'll give you another example.
Yes.
I was in the car one time.
Yes.
And we got pulled over. And I wasn't driving.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing they do is they walk to me instead of the driver.
Mm.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
Like, why are you questioning me? I'm not the driver. Like, you supposed to question the driver first.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, why did y'all pull it? You didn't pull us over because I'm in the passenger seat, did you?
Right.
So, like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
But I mean, I don't know, bro. We live in a world nowadays where, I never know what to expect nowadays.
You just don't.
You never know.
And when you watch that video, you're just like, damn, cops are really like this now. And it was a bad look. It was a bad optic. I didn't like it. Again, it pissed me off. I felt right away the cops, they all should have been fired, lost their jobs because they're not serving and protecting, in my opinion. They're not. I don't care. I get it. He could have been better about the situation, but they took it too far. Way too far.
Well, and I mean, and to know that Calais Campbell stopped. There's been situations, and I know if I was put in the same situation, some of the terrible things we've seen over the last 5-10 years of situations, whether it's cop cams or people taking good citizens taking footage to show some of the terrible things that are going on. I know myself that if I'd have been there, I would have probably been put in cuffs myself, because there's just some things as a citizen, as a human being, as a whatever on this very earth. There's some things I'm not going to put up with. The next type of behavior I'm not going to put up with. So Curtis, I think all we can do is know that we have each other's backs. We're all watching, and we'll see how this thing plays out in Miami. I still think this officer will probably see some type of punishment, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. And again, there's always two sides to the story, but it seems
I will tell you this.
Yeah.
I'm not a small guy. But if I saw
Curtis, man.
If I saw Calais Campbell get out of the car, I'd be like, wait a minute.
That guy 6'8", 6'9". I mean,
he's a scary guy. But
wait a minute.
And they detained him too. They didn't arrest those guys. They detained. How do you detain a Calais?
He's a teddy bear. See,
you have not been able to detain him throughout his career. And
I'm like, is this a giant or something coming at me?
Right. What is this guy?
I'm just glad it was Calais Campbell, because the moment we hear that Calais Campbell was the second person put in cuffs, I think everybody who knows anything about football knows that, okay, then this was a bad situation, because Calais Campbell, he ain't doing nothing to get in cuffs.
You're the sweetest guy in the NFL ever.
Teddy bear.
Yeah.
Until he gets on the field.
Yeah. Well, all right, now.
Yes.
Let's talk about our Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, talk about it.
So, obviously, we love to win.
Yeah.
I love Chris Godwin's confidence. I think me and Peter had this conversation.
We did. By the way,
Chris Godwin is going to be a key to another division title this year.
Yep.
And you get Chris Godwin going with Mike Evans, we already seen how dangerous it is.
90.5 Pro Football Focus had Godwin yesterday, and of course he showed out. He definitely looked like after 2 years of coming out that knee surgery, he had his explosive nature back. Led the team 8 catches, 83 yards, and 1 touchdown. And the thing that I like to see again is when he caught a pass, he was in area there. He's breaking tackles, and he's showing that speed that he lost the last 2 years. A lot of people, the injuries have taken their toll. Not so fast, my friend. Not yesterday. Not what you've seen at training camp from him.
On top of Palmer and McMillan, this is going to be pretty much, as long as we can stay healthy, this is a dangerous receiving corps.
It is. Absolutely.
Very, very dangerous.
Don't forget the tight ends. Don't forget the tight ends either.
Well, I haven't even gotten to them yet, but I'm talking about then you got Mr. Rashard White catching balls out the backfield and putting moves on people, and then Bucky Irvin.
Yeah.
We haven't even seen his catching ability yet.
Right.
But we know he can do it.
We know that, we know that White can do it out of the backfield. He had 6 catches for 75 yards yesterday, and he's become great at that.
Baker he looked more comfortable yesterday than he did last year.
Did he not? I mean, he looked more comfortable. And then on top of it, when the pressure got to him, and I was talking to the sage at Tampa Bay, Ira Coffin, about this, again, doesn't have the athleticism, doesn't have the speed like a Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams. He just has enough mobility. He just has enough to scale the pocket and then, get out there and try to get, a 6 or 7 yard gain or get that 10 yards for that first.
I'm gonna say it just like I used to say it.
Yeah.
About Jameis Winston. There was something about Jameis Winston, man. When that pocket would break down, we knew he wasn't the fastest guy, but it was something about that guy where he was going to make a play. The problem was when Winston threw the ball downfield, it was trouble.
Curtis, I'm glad you mentioned Jameis Winston, because how long will the Browns stick with Watson there in Cleveland?
Well,
with Jameis
listen,
Winston
guys,
at number 2?
there was a report that came out tonight. There is new allegations.
I didn't like these allegations. Did you read them?
For Deshaun Watson, the NFL has not commented on this, but not good, man. Not good. I said it. He's been an albatross of a contract ever since they signed him from the Cleveland Browns.
What's the allegations? Because I haven't heard.
I can tell you. You don't have to read, Peter. I'll tell you. So the young lady, she was not part of the original, but she's also represented by Tony Busby, who represented 23 other women who sued Watson back in the day. She says that she had a blind date or a date set with him. He had trouble finding her apartment. And I'm paraphrasing, but he called her on his cell phone. He got elevated. He yelled at her a bit. She said she was a little worried. He ended up showing up at her apartment. She let him in her apartment. She was in the bathroom because she wasn't quite ready. I'm reading from the report. She was putting on makeup. She says that she left the bathroom door open so she could continue conversation, hoping to de-escalate. So she let a guy into her home that already scared her because he yelled at her. That's flag number 1. Then she leaves the bathroom door open. She's talking to him out there. She ends up hearing his voice change in inflection. She walks out. She walks in. She says he's laying naked on a bed, stomach down, asking for a massage. She says she's afraid because he's already yelled at her. So she complies a little bit with the massage. Then he flips over. So at the end of the day, I think he's been an albatross. You're right, Peter. He's been a problem for Cleveland, and I'm glad it's being a problem because they should have never given him the contract they gave him. They almost screwed up the entire quarterback market in the National Football League. I think this will help, you're not going to see teams just do a Deshaun Watson deal like this, especially with these flags. But this last case right here, this feels like a money grab 100%. I guarantee it'll be thrown out pretty soon. It is on the radar as he's happening to continue to not remember how to play football.
Or it sounds like a pattern of behavior which has followed him for the past. And it's not surprising that once again, we're talking about allegations involving Mr. Watson. But you're exactly right. If a good thing for Cleveland to get rid of Baker Mayfield so Mayfield can end up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, resurrect his career. On top of it, the Bucs sign him to a discounted deal compared to Deshaun Watson, and everything has worked out for the Bucs. And once again, the Cleveland Browns are there you go.
I'll give you one last point here. That this last case, this could possibly give Cleveland an out on the contract because there is a morality clause built into this contract, this guaranteed contract. The one thing Cleveland did get is a morality clause. So there may be a chance that in the future that they may be able to get out of some of this contract. But that's why I posed the question. If Deshaun Watson continues to play as poorly as he did against Dallas, and again, it was Dallas, it'll take another week or two, would behoove Cleveland not to consider putting a Jameis Winston in there in Cleveland? And with that team in Cleveland, maybe that Jameis can find a success that we've been hoping he would have as he went to the Saints, but fortunately not still in our division.
Curtis, we got to run here. We got another call, my friend. Thanks a lot for the second call. Appreciate you. Let me go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Eric Moreno, Lakeland, Florida. What's going on, Peter?
What's going on, boss?
Bring your passion. Oh, my God.
Dude, Eric, no, take your time. Take a breath, Eric.
Bring your passion.
Okay.
Bring your passion. Well, I don't know why.
Excitement.
Bring your passion. Bring your excitement.
Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
Okay, now do it all together with feeling, my friend, with feeling.
Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's a winner right there. That's a real. All right, let's go out to you, Eric. What were your thoughts on the Bucs' big victory over Washington yesterday on a Victory Monday here on the Sports Web?
I was at the game. I mean, it was a pretty exciting crowd.
Right.
Bryce Hall going down and most of the DBs going down.
Yep, that was not good. And then now you find out Antoine Winfield Jr. is going to miss some games here. So what do you think?
I think we'll be all right. I think we're still going to go 19-0. So I think we'll be all right.
19-0. Eric's still trying to finish it.
19-0. There you go. Eric is definitely the eternal optimist on the field besides myself. Yes.
When Eric
I think 10-7. I don't think
10-7.
I think the Saints over the Panthers. I didn't think they would beat them 47-10. Panthers are gonna win 4 games, maybe 5 games.
I don't even know if they're gonna win that, man.
Canales, I bet he's second guessing. I'm surprised he didn't go back to Seattle.
He can't go anywhere now. He's the head coach of the Carolina Panthers at this point. So,
why did Bryce Young?
I don't know. The Lions game is going to be a tough game. I think we beat the Broncos and then hopefully get but after the Eagles game, we have a short week. So I don't know if that is going to, if you say, hey, Antoine's ready for the Eagles game, in a short week against the Falcons, you're really not going to get any practices in time in, maybe Monday or Tuesday. But, so I don't know if that – it's a short week. I mean, everyone has to go through a short week. So
sure, absolutely. Everybody has to go through a short week, and we'll see what the impact of the injury situation, because injuries happen in the National Football League, and not only have they happened to the Bucs, they've happened to the Rams with Puka Nacua going out with an injury, Jordan Love with the injury there. We already talked about Rome, the rookie wide receiver for the Chicago Bears with some type of injury. So it happens.
Jordan Love.
Yeah. We talked about
They
Jordan
haven't
Love.
put Jordan Love on IR, so they expect him to be back before
4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks. We'll see. I believe that's the same injury that Tom Brady played through the 2020 year, won a Super Bowl. So
Jordan Love ain't Tom Brady.
No, he's definitely not. But a lot, you just signed a contract extension. I know there's a lot of Packer fans out there. They're disappointed. And, like one of our friends says, Travis Faley of Rocket Sports Entertainment, it's bad for the NFL when a young quarterback, where you have these hefty expectations, goes down, a couple plays before the game is over with, somewhat of a dirty shot there by, Jalen, is it Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter,
for the Eagles. Yeah. So,
question. Would you be surprised if he's back by the Eagles game?
Who for Winfield Jr.?
Tweez, yeah.
I think there's a possibility of that. I definitely think it's possible, but we don't know. You don't know how he's going to heal. We don't know if the Bucs are going to take that chance. I mean, remember, this could be. You hope it's not a lingering thing. You don't want it to be a lingering thing, and that he has
like
to have
Cansey last year,
right? Cansey and Cansey's injured again, and Todd Bowles said that it was the same calf injury from last year. So
don't be surprised if they keep him out until the Eagles game.
Why would you?
I mean, why take the chance?
I already marked the Lions game, even without, if we had, him and Cansey, it still would have been a tough game because they got us pretty good last year.
Eric, let me ask you. Eric, you said 10-7. Okay, I get that. But if the Bucs, now remember last year they were, and we watched this again because I watched Receiver on Netflix, and they were covering Amon St. Brown, and they went back and they covered that game. The Bucs were in that game until late in the third, early fourth quarter, and there was even the last drive, which by that time the game was out of hand, but they were still mathematically in it. If the Bucs,
the playoff game, right?
Right, yeah, and in the Motor City with the crying fans and the so loud, which is going to be loud again this year. If the Bucs beat Detroit this week to go 2-0, does that change your 10-7 prediction? Do you go to 11-6, or do you give them a chance against the Eagles or against the Niners or the Ravens because they showed they can go on the road and beat a team like the Lions?
Maybe. I mean, Niners and Chiefs and Ravens. Those could be three. I mean,
well, you definitely want all those players back for that, and of course, you still have the Atlanta Falcons twice, again, Carolina twice, and New Orleans twice, which is giving them some problems.
I think at least by the Falcons game, and then you get a little break, which is like a mini bye week. You play Thursday, and then you don't have to come back till Monday or Tuesday. So
We'll see. We'll see. But the impact of Winfield Jr. not being in that secondary is definitely going to hurt because, again, not only was he the best safety in the league last year, but all the things that he can bring to your defense. It's tackling, it's coverage,
leadership,
it's playmaking skills, it's leadership.
Yeah.
It's the things that he did to make a difference. And you're not going to have that. And guys are going to have to step up. Etienne's going to have to step up. Maybe the young kid and a Ty Key Smith, who I talked to in training camp. He said he emulated his game off of Winfield Jr. and Buda Baker. Maybe that's somebody that you look to because he can play multiple positions, not only nickel, but also safety.
Watch for Funderburk, though. Like you said, Peter, Appalachian State, Tyreek Funderburk. Watch for this kid. The reason why the undrafted free agent makes this team, you're going to see him. He's going to shine in these next couple of weeks. Even if it's in a support role, you're going to see Funderburk shine. That's my prediction for the next couple of weeks.
Do you think McCollum could play this week? I know, protocol is, if he has one day and then he has symptoms and then, so if he's not practicing Wednesday, like Palmer was out there on Wednesday, I think, but he had no contact, and then he got cleared Sunday. But this is going on the road, so he's going to have to clear by Saturday.
Right. Well, you're going to
Thursday.
It takes about a day each.
Yeah, you're going to have to see, what the concussion protocol is. I'm not ready to say he's going to play or not. I don't know. If he clears concussion protocol, then of course he'll play. If he doesn't, then other guys will have to step up.
I mean, look at T-Law. He took or Tua. And then I don't know if you remember this, but Mike Evans had that one-handed catch against the Falcons. We got blown out, I think, like 47-17. And he took a pretty good shot and cleared by Monday, and the game was Thursday.
Well, some of that's changed, though, to a certain degree. Some of those concussion protocols have gotten a little bit more stricter, if you will. So, Eric, anything else here on the evolution?
Go Bucks. Go Bucks, Peter.
All right.
Take us out. Eric, take us out. Give it to us one more time.
Do it.
Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
Yeah, man. Eric Moreno.
Boom, right there. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what that was. I don't know what happened.
That was me. Sorry, I've been drinking beer over here.
I hit the
We've talked politics. We've talked politics. In the sports web, we never talk politics. That's we're showing our range, Peter.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not sorry about this conversation. I think it's a good conversation. And I think it's a respectful conversation.
Curtis brought a lot to the table tonight, too. He always does.
He did. Sway says Paul Skeens is a beast, pitcher from Pittsburgh, but if he played football, would you talk about him? Which is my whole point.
Brother, do you know about
Skeens?
Paul Skeens? Do you realize that he would have been drafted as a catcher? And when he was at Air Force, he was actually the starting catcher. He only started pitching to do something in the off rotation. Then he started throwing BP. Then he started actually pitching. By the time he gets to LSU, he takes over the starting pitching, and of course, he becomes the #1 draft pick. And he has the year he's had in 2024. This guy could probably play football, and he'd be a starting whatever position he chose to. Skeens is a beast.
He is a beast. And listen, if it was noteworthy on this show, and let's say we were in Pittsburgh talking about the Pirates, we would be talking about Skeens. If Skeens were on the Rays, we would probably be talking about
He'd be traded already, Peter. He wouldn't be with the Rays. He'd have been traded back in September.
Exactly.
August.
This guy sucks.
Let's see. We live in a world that you're all governments. We live in a world that a football player gets detained, then it's headline news, but golfers get arrested. It's hardly talked about. Again, my point. We didn't talk about it on this show, but I know we talked about it on the JP Peterson show, and it came out tonight as I'm preparing for this show. And I felt like people wanted to talk about it. So we talk about it. That's it. Like Sway, I don't know. I don't know, man. It seems like you're just not really happy with, what we're doing here. And I think Moreno is coming in here. I appreciate it, Moreno. We're not going to have any guests tonight. Another time, my friend. We'll get you out of here.
Wait, is he naked? I'm just kidding, Frere.
Be quiet.
What I was going to say.
You know what? Let's get him on video really quick. I want him to say, "Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring it.
He's got to go full screen, and he's got to bring it hard."
All right, here we go. You ready? It's showtime. 3, 2, 1, go.
Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense, Ray and Peter. Let's go, Bucks.
That was awesome. I love it every time.
Perfect, man. Appreciate you. Great stuff there from him. He killed it. He
Oh,
absolutely killed it. I said,
I
"But
didn't know that was
he
Eric
was ready." Yeah,
when
that's
Eric
Eric.
came in. Well, he came into the, and if you guys haven't seen it, it was our post game show at Raymond James after the big win over Bethune Cookman, 48-3. And Eric came in, and I didn't know it was Eric Marino. I knew it was some guy named Eric, and he was cool as heck. I didn't know it was Eric, and now that I know it was him, I love it even more. He made that post game show.
And I'll tell you right now, I really want to do more of that. I want to give fans the opportunity not only to call the show, but to get on video and say it. I don't want it to be a long-winded thing, but I want to give them the say. I just want to make sure you have internet. Want to make sure it's quiet. You sound. I know you're going to sound like a fan, but I want to bring that aspect to the sports web. I want to kind of do that. So I'm definitely.
Tagline's great. The tagline's great when you deliver it because you're the one who made it. And I've been listening to you do it for 6 years. But when we let others, our listeners, our web heads, when they get in here and do it, it just literally warms the cockles of my heart. I just love it.
Yeah.
It's so awesome to get in there.
It's caught on, and we definitely need to get some shirts about it. And I got an idea to do that, and we will do that in the future, my friend. David says, good one yesterday. Really happy to see how our secondary is communicating with each other. Really sad to see all the injuries. Absolutely. And the question for the night, David, and everybody out there is webheads, should the Bucs go outside of the organization, or are you okay with the in-house option? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Base, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy right there.
Mr.
Love it.
I love that Mickey comment.
I have it now on my Alexa. So when I get up in the morning and I move, the first thing she does when she sees me move, she goes, "Get out of here."
That's awesome.
That's my theme.
Yes, it is your theme, my friend. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Everyone's saying that Dak was so impressive. I mean, I don't know what happened to Cleveland's defense, but yeah, Dak is impressive. He should be. What, $60 million? Great job once again to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys for inflating the quarterback market already as bad as it is. You just made it that much worse. Yes. And then on top of it, right, Dak and the Cowboys, they play great during the regular season. When they get to the postseason, that's what it is, right?
But there. I give Jerry Jones credit. I give Jerry Jones credit. They literally do the contract 25 minutes before the game against the most overinflated, worst quarterback contract in the league. And during the game, I didn't even know until after the game that Deshaun had signed that new 4-year, $160 trillion, because all they talked about during the game was the contract that Deshaun Watson signed and how bad it was. So give Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones credit. They actually did something for once that was good from a PR move. Signing Dak Prescott, maybe not so great from a football move, but from a PR move, Jerry Jones owned it yesterday.
All right, you're Mr. Historian here. We value what you bring to the table when it comes to Tampa Bay sports history, especially the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's 37 points on this day marks the club's what highest total in season opening game? Do you know this?
No, what was the question again? I mean, it ties.
Tampa Bay's 37 points on this day marks the club's blank highest total in a season opening game. What is the highest season opening total of a game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and when did it happen?
John Gruden's first year, 2000. No, it wasn't John Gruden because we didn't find the offense till week 8. I think it was Sam Weiss was the head coach. It was 48-3, and it was over the Detroit Lions. Okay, I had to try.
9-9-18 versus the New Orleans Saints, and it was Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing.
Oh my God!
Watson
48-3.
No, it was 48-40. And then the tide of that is 87 against the Atlanta Falcons. There was 48 in that, which I don't remember that. And then Detroit in 1990, 38. And then the fourth is Washington yesterday at 37.
But that year in 2018, the worst part of that year was, remember, week 4, he couldn't run wait to get number 1 first overall draft pick Jameis back in after the 3-game suspension for the Uber driver, whatever happened out in Arizona. And here you got Ryan Fitzpatrick's putting he's putting merch in Canton because the first quarterback to throw for 300 plus yards the first 3 weeks, and we rush Jameis back in. We lose that game, and the rest of the season. Give me the graphic, Pete. It went where?
All right. They say Ray's Casio felt bad for him. I gave him 2 free tickets to the Rays. Is that true? You had a Casio watch and they gave you 2.
I got a Fitbit and it did give me 2 free tickets to the Rays game.
There you go. I mean, you do what you got to do. Y'all talked about Tyreek Hill. He doesn't play for the Bucs, but it was a noteworthy story. So we will talk about what you want to talk about, Sway. I appreciate you as always. I think Mr. Jason Lyon's going to have to spend a little bit money in free agency or try to get a good trade. The $22 million, I think 11 this year, according to JC Allen of Sports Illustrated. Sway says, love you guys. Good show. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, some more trivia here. Let's see. The Buccaneers' 17-point margin of victory is tied for what differential in a Week 1 game in franchise history? Which one do you think that is? What's the number 1 point differential? Point margin of victory is tied for the what highest point differential in Week 1 game in franchise history? What's number 1, by the way?
Oh, I don't know, but I want to say
Atlanta plus 38. So that's the highest point differential right there. What is number 2? Harry would know this. That gives it away.
28 points, and it was against the Bears in 98.
It was 22, and it was 17. And then yesterday, it was Washington. And then in 03, it was at Philadelphia on Monday Night Football, 17-0. Remember that? Joe Jaravicius with the great catch. Super Bowl the year after.
That was so great.
Closing down the vet and opening up the link. And then
the first team as a Super Bowl champion to go on the road for their first game. Although, because look at the Chiefs. They hosted their game on Thursday last week versus the Ravens. We had to go and open the link, and Rocky rang the bell. It was all a Philadelphia night, and then right down the drain. We gave them the same loss we gave them in the championship game 6 months before. That was a great moment in Tampa Bay Buccaneer history.
It was a great moment in Tampa Bay Buccaneer history. Let me go out to Mr. Alan McTavish. 49ers win. Ray, you missed your $1 wings tonight. Garlic palm, and I drink your beer. Night, guys. All right, man. Thanks a lot for that.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that sounds really good at this point. We need to go down there and maybe get some wings.
Mondays at Ferg's, $1 wings. I was going to go.
$1 wings at Ferg's on Monday night. I'm going to have to take off on Monday night. We're going to go down there and have some wings.
Brother, I told you that if UPS didn't have me working tonight, I'd be doing a show live from down there. I was going to go down there and get a dozen wings.
I'm not going down there to work. I'm not going down there to do anything. I'm going down there to fill my face and stuff my face with chicken wings for $1. Are you serious?
I'm not going to put – I've seen you eat, and that's definitely not going to make it on a show.
It definitely won't make it on the show. I mean, you guys can record it. Again, Ira Kaufman, who was in the Sage at Tampa Bay, was counting how many plates I was putting down yesterday in the press box. You would be happy to know I started out with a salad with some ranch. They didn't have blue cheese this time, so next time hopefully they have blue cheese. Started off with a salad. Then he started off with some nachos and queso. That's the second plate there, a little chicken. Then we had some prime rib with a little white rice. And then after that, they had the
self-serve
with ice cream, self-serve with the toppings, all the Sunday toppings. We got to get USF to do that on Saturday.
I sit there when we're at the USF game. They give us a nice box lunch, and I'm so appreciative. They take care of us because it's not the Bucks, but I look over and I'm like, and Leo's like, that's where the Banana Foster are. And Peter's like, that's where the prime rib is. And I'm like, you know what? The soda fountain's still here. So I'm happy.
Right.
But
there you go.
I'm so excited. And of course, they set the time today for the Miami game in week 4 after we play this week against Southern Miss. The Miami game will be a 7:00 start, which tells me. Yes, which tells me that after the USF Bulls hung into the fourth quarter down by only 2 points at Nick Saban Field against the mighty number 4 Alabama, that they went, okay, the Bulls are playing Miami Hurricanes in week 4. Let's make that a 7:00 prime time and put that on the big network. So, that's a big thing. So we'll be covering that on Amped Up Sports and here in the Sports Web.
Absolutely. Being a part of Amped Up Sports, Leo Haggerty, Trace there does a great job. Robert Reno, Courtney Reno doing great jobs in the background with with the reels and everything. Just do amazing job with the podcast. You guys just are killing it right now. I can't say enough about you guys. Really proud to be a part of Amped Up Sports. Rogers look old and slow. Time to retire, says the Warrior himself, Mr. Jamie Lindsay. Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And as always, versus the Eagles. Yes, you remember that on Monday Night Football, 17-0. To open up the link. Now, going back to the statistics, this is in care of Bucs Nation, so good job to them. Tampa Bay outgained Washington 392 to 299 plus 93. The Buccaneers 392 net yards of offense marks the club's third highest total since the beginning of 2023 season. The Bucs generated 112 rushing yards in the day, marking the fifth time in Tampa Bay's last 8 games they logged 100 yards on the ground. That's a pretty good accomplishment, considering that White wasn't the one who was toting the rock as much, more so Bucky Irving, right? I mean, how impressed were you with that young man yesterday?
They said that he's not an explosive type of a runner. He's gonna slash and get through the front line. You get that guy to the second and third level, he's got the potential to hit a home run every time, and that's coming on the backside of Rashid White. And don't forget, both of them are as good of a receiver out of the backfield as they are running back. That's why it's so exciting, because we've been saying this since Tony Dungy was coach and through the Todd Bowles years. Give us an offense that can keep up with this defense, and I'm telling you, this Buccaneers defense in 2024 has the potential to be top 5 among the tops in the league. And I'll give them an offense, and it's the Super Bowl or bust. We're going to be in New Orleans in 7 months. We're going to be celebrating this team. It's crazy, but it's doable. But we got to stay healthy. But then all 32 teams have to stay healthy. So it's going to be a week in and week out thing. But, as far as potential, this team has got a whole lot of potential. And I'm not a goober saying that. I'm not an over-the-top fan. I'm a realist. But at the end of the day, if we're not hoping and thinking this team can make the Super Bowl, are we really fans, Tom Krasnicki?
All right. Tampa Bay went 9 for 13 when it comes to third down conversion, 69.2.
Yeah, I went there. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Good for this 6th highest success rate in a single game in franchise history. Tampa Bay 69.2 offensive third down success rate leads the NFL. Of course, it's only 1 week. Conversely, the Buccaneers limited the Commanders to 2 for 8, 25% on third down opportunities. People were texting me saying, when are they going to get better on third and fourth down? They were good. They were 2 for 8. So this whole thing also about Todd Bowles having difficulty with rookie quarterbacks. Actually, the statistics show that's not true at all. The Buccaneers actually improved to 11-5 against rookie quarterbacks since Todd Bowles' arrival in 2019. Also, Baker Mayfield completed 24-30, 80% for 289 yards, 4 touchdowns for a passer rating of 146.4. His 146.4 passer rating was the highest total in the NFL through the whole day there, Sunday. And also, Mayfield's 146.4 passer rating is the second highest week 1 passing rating in franchise history, trailing who?
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Come on.
Very good. 156.2 in week 1 2018 season. New Orleans, 48-40. Also, who is the highest with the passing total right now? Baker Mayfield. 46.14. Derek Carr following up there with 142.5. Josh Allen, 137.7. CJ Stroud, 115.9. And Sam Darnold, 113.2 as they absolutely blast the New York Giants. What the hell is going on with the New York Giants? Also, Mayfield has 4 career games, at least 4 touchdown passes, and a passer rating of 140 or higher, tied with Aaron Rodgers, 4 for the third most such games by a player in his first 7 seasons in NFL history. Listen to this. Only Pro Bowl Hall of Famers, Peyton Manning with 6 games and Kurt Warner 5, have more. What a statistic, right? You're tied with Aaron Rodgers in your first 7 seasons, and only Pro Football Hall of Famers Peyton Manning with 6 games and Kurt Warner with 5 have more.
And it's crazy that you've got Dak Prescott signing for $60 million a year. You've got, Patrick Mahomes are trying to figure out with paying him all these quarterbacks. And it's not that Baker's not worth it, but they made a big deal that he signed a 3-year, $100 million contract to stay here in Tampa Bay. But at the end of the day, Peter, this is one thing that drove you and me crazy going back to when we were little kids. People wanted to come here. It's Tampa Bay. It's a great city. It's in a tax-free income state. You want to come here and play for this team. All you got to do is put a competitive team out there and pay at least competitive contracts, and you should have no trouble bringing them in here. And that's one thing Jason Light's been doing since 2014. He's made this team competitive. He's drafted smart team first players, and he can get a Baker Mayfield for 3 years at $100 million, while the Cowboys are trying to figure out how they're going to pay CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott 1/3 of the entire salary cap, and then figure out a way to pay the other 51. The reason why you have so much harmony in this Buccaneers locker room is because all 53 and the practice squad and the coaching staff want to be here, and that's why being a Buccaneers fan has been great, not just since 2020, but continues to be moving forward.
All right, you want some more statistics here? I know you want some more here. Let me give them to you. Mayfield's 146.4 passer rating denoted the highest single game mark with 30 or more attempts by an opposing passer versus Washington since who? This goes all the way back to 1962. You probably won't get it.
I'm going to get it.
A
I'm gonna get it.
Tittle.
Y.A. Tittle for the New York Giants.
151.4. At 151.4.
He was a giant, right?
I
know.
Mike Evans brought in. Well, let's talk about Mike Evans and why he's also a Hall of Famer at this point, in my opinion. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer already.
Without a doubt.
Brought in 5 receptions for 61 yards with 2 touchdowns. With his 5 receptions today, Evans surpassed Eric Moulds, James Lofton, Hall of Famer. Chad Johnson most likely could be a Hall of Famer, to move into a tie for the 41st most receptions, 767 in NFL history. With his 2 touchdowns on the day, Evans surpassed Eric Dickerson, Hall of Famer, 96 for the 26th most overall touchdowns in NFL history, surpassed Devontae Adams, active, 95 for the 12th most receiving touchdowns in NFL history since the start of 2020 season. Get this, Evans, 48 touchdown receptions are the second most in the National Football League, and yet Evans never gets the respect that he deserves. Why? Because he plays for Tampa. And then on top of it, he goes about his business as a professional. There's no diva mentality. There's no trade demands. There's nothing off the field. It's just, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to get my 1,000-yard receiving yards. I'm going to do everything consistently, catch everything that's in front of me, and I'm going to get it done and win with the Bucs. Your thoughts?
And I love the fact that I could be wrong, but I almost feel like one day when we're all in Canton, we're watching Mike Evans, and he's doing his induction speech. He's going to shout out to Vincent Jackson, who was the receiver here. He was the stud here. Jason Light knew what it meant to bring in a player like Michael Evans and put him with V-Jax for 1 year. And Mike Evans will tell you he learned so much from Vincent Jackson that 1 year, and we lost Vincent Jackson too young. I love the fact that I think Mike Evans someday in that speech he'll give in Canton, he'll probably give props and shout outs to what Vincent Jackson meant to him. And that, again, goes back to what Jason Light did when he brought it. And we remember when he drafted Mike Evans, his first draft pick in his history as a manager. And we knew what it meant to come in here and be with a Vincent Jackson, because we all felt at the time we wish Vincent Jackson was 10 years younger and hadn't come from the Chargers, because he would have been the guy here forever and a day too. Love the fact he had the chance to work with him. He's definitely a first rounder, and it's going to be more because he did it with 17 quarterbacks over the course of his career and getting 1,000 yards for the 10 years, now going for 11 and tying and then passing Jerry Rice for 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. First ballot Hall of Famer Mike Evans, without a doubt.
Absolutely. In this one right here, final stat, Bucky Irving amassed a team-high 62 rushing yards across 9 carries, 6.9 average. His 6.9 yards per carry is the highest mark by a Buccaneer in their first career game, minimum 2 carries in franchise history. So Bucky Irving already making history. Final thoughts here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Victory Monday. Best of the Bay's Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy.
First of all, great show. We went late.
Thank you.
The callers were fantastic tonight. I love that we talked politics and we kept it clean. I got that. It's an empty 12-pack of hazies, but I want to put that in a shot just so you know where I'm coming from. But the most exciting thing for me yesterday, as we're watching, because I always say run with or not. And for so many years, we were trying to push the ball straight up the middle, and the defenses were stopping it. They were reading it. They knew it was coming. And now with Liam Cohen, we saw it a little bit with Dave Canales, but he never committed to it with Liam. We see that he's going to make a commitment to put so much film down that this week the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell, they're going to have to spend all their hours in the film room breaking this down. And then maybe we go with a straight one trap, two trap running play because they're so busy looking for the outside run. And then when you bring in 7 or 8 in the box, then we go outside. I love the fact that this offense has opened up. We're not going to have that success week in and week out. We played against the Redskins, or the Commanders' defense was actually pretty formidable. Dan Quinn, their offense, we really held them in check. But I love the fact that Liam Cohen is putting enough out there that teams are going to have to play our offense honest. And that's why they're trying to figure out how to beat our defense. And that's why the Buccaneers in this 2024 season is going to be so much fun to watch. Thanks for having me tonight, brother.
Absolutely. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay.
Mr. Kennedy!
Oh, brother.
See you later, my friend. We'll definitely keep on previewing the Detroit Lion game on Sunday. We'll see where we're going to be at here on the Evolution. All right.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, bro. There you go. Good stuff there. Thanks a lot to, of course, Mr. Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, Harry the Greek, and all the callers. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Give to YouTube Super Chats. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Give to Facebook Stars and do 3 things for me on a Victory Monday. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Guys, have a good night. And as always, go Bucks.